Oh my god, these three.
Hello, AZ. David, how's it going down there? Yeah, a little bit earlier today, AZ.
Here, I had to go get Tyson out of the yard. He's out there freaking making a racket.
Tyson was out there barking.
Yeah, him and the neighbor dogs like to go at each other.
Oh,
They like to growl at each other at the fence.
oh, David. Well, at least it's under 100. It's only 70 degrees here right now.
What's up, David? Yeah, I'm here. I had to go, like I said, I had to go grab the dogs outside. They were fucking making a big old racket out there. And that big German Shepherd next door, and they like to run at each other back and forth at the fence.
Yeah, what you doing? Goofball.
Let's see what my audio sounds like now that I downloaded that program. That does sound a little better. All right. Trying out that in NVIDIA RTX voice. See how that sounds. What's up, Warren? I was listening to myself on Matt's show the other night, and it just, I don't know, didn't sound good. Oh yeah, German Shepherds are awesome. Tyson's out there barking like he's a damn pit bull though. Like he's actually gonna do something. Where's Hodges at?
Oh no, he's been a little bit scarce lately.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Other things on his mind, you know.
Oh yeah, those in Belgium Malamars are super smart, David.
What's that?
He was saying, he was talking about the, German Shepherd. They're very smart dogs. I mean,
Yes.
that's why they get used so much for search and rescue and a bunch
Dominic,
of other things.
Morning all.
how you
Good
doing?
evening. How is everybody?
Good,
Good.
good.
How are you?
Yeah, hanging in there. Gonna be a nice and sunny day today.
Oh, really? It's just there's rain coming,
Hmm.
so I had to go out and mow the lawn because
Okay.
it's supposed to rain for like 3 days.
Oh no.
So that makes the lawn really wet and hard to mow, you know?
Oh, okay. Hello to everybody in the chat.
Yeah, Hodges usually is on time. I'm sure he'll pop in any minute now.
Yep. Where am I? There I am. Keep losing my page. Where am
Hashtag yeah.
I? Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people in the chat.
Yes, there is. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming in.
AZ and Akira show.
Well, it says there's only 4 people watching, but
I can only see 2 people chatting.
yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so let's get ready to rumble.
Did you see my latest video, Dominic?
I've only just woken up, so
Okay.
I'll get around to it. Oh,
Yeah, I jumped
sounds
out of
good,
Paul.
David.
I jumped
Was
out
that?
of Paul's. I said I jumped out of the green room yesterday. I was like, man, there's just way too many people over here trying to get in here.
Yeah.
So I watched him for a little bit, and then I went and jumped over on Dan's stream, and I was over there for a little bit, and then I left there.
Yeah, I
and went
noticed, Dan's.
and then I went and jumped over to Bill's after that for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, because I noticed Matt started off there in his place. Then I saw him drop out, and then he returned to the returned from his truck or car. Okay, it's basically 10 minutes to 7 a.m. Warren. Yeah,
USA Joe.
Joe.
Yep, Lauren's here. AZ, David. I haven't heard from your sister, Justin.
He's busy at the moment. Yeah, it did get pretty feral over there. 80 viewers.
Wow.
And we had people trying to come in, and because I got co-host rights over there because I could see everybody who was in the green room, and there's 12 at one stage, and people trying to get in as well.
Yeah, wasn't feeling it last night. I was like, man, I'm not gonna sit here because I already sat in the green room for the first half hour, and I was like, and then he popped me in. I was in there for like a whole 2 minutes, and then I got kicked out again. I was like, man, I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah.
There's too many people.
Yeah, as I said, it was feral.
Well, they limit the amount of people, right?
Oh no, he can have up to 10, but he was limiting it to 6, right?
Okay.
First
Yeah,
he
6
was.
at a time because people people talk over each other.
He limited it to 6 at first, but then I saw later on he had like 8 people up
Yeah.
there.
He had 9. JDS.
What's up, JDS? Joe, how's it
yes,
going?
how you doing?
Oh, Joe, I beat you, by the way. Just let you know.
Yeah.
We're up to 413 now. And I've already racked up 2 more thousand today. I'm not letting Matt pass me back up. He can kiss my ass.
Okay. Let's do a check.
Well, I figured out on the weekends,
Mhm.
if you start posting shorts at 2 or at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I can put 2 or 3 up every 2 hours till about 8 PM and they'll just, all of them will skyrocket up to at least 1,000, if not more.
Yeah. He's at
'Cause, I mean,
402.
it's the weekend, so a lot of people are off.
Mhm. I must try that.
During the week though, if I don't, I have to post around 3 or 4. Otherwise, just nothing. It won't get anything.
Yeah. Oh. I've jumped another 50 subs. 2185. So I was on 2135. The ones that I put up didn't really do much. The other ones I put up a week and 2 ago are starting to get traction.
How many did you say you went up? I missed that. My headphones cut out.
5050.
Oh, okay. Not bad at all.
2185. Yeah, well, I when I left Bill's, Jalen was on, so I went over and annoyed him for about 45 minutes. Take that.
Well, it's pretty stark down at the Martini Bar too.
Oh no. Hi, Paul.
Hey,
All right.
okay. Oh, hey, look who's on there. AZ.
AZ has been asking for you.
JDF. Oh my God.
Yep, I'd agree with that, Laura.
Yeah.
He went live a lot earlier than I'd expected.
Yeah. How long you been on, Paul?
About 20 minutes.
Mm.
Well, I would make my supper.
Yeah, I was making breakfast.
Mm.
And here comes Laura.
No, it's not me.
Okay, it's not you then.
It's not you?
No, it does
It's an
screw
AI
with
version
people.
of you.
It does screw with people when you go on early though. I noticed that they won't even come in until your time. I guess they're so used to you going on at the same time.
Laura, how things going over there?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Dominic just got up and he's fixed himself some breakfast. Did you fix breakfast, Dominic?
Yep. Just waiting for it to cool down.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you want to see what I've got for breakfast tomorrow?
Ooh,
Tim,
Okay.
all right. That's the way to cook.
did you have many signs to do today, Paul?
1, 2, 3 signs. I've got one in Copenhagen tomorrow, then I got one in Tilsonburg. And I think I'll go down. I don't know what the weather's doing, but I might go down and cut the grass because I never got down on the weekend to cut grass, right?
They're calling for rain here for the next 3 days.
Oh, are they? Oh,
So I went and cut my lawn because, it gets
Right,
wet.
okay.
You wait forever to dry out.
yeah.
We're back in a sec. I need to get a drink.
So I went out this morning after I get done editing and posting that video and mowed the lawn.
Oh, let me see. 96% today, 88% tomorrow. Oh, cool. Oh, we got a lot of rain coming here or what? Holy shit. Oh, yeah. A lot of rain off to the west.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's like stacking up.
Oh, well, I guess I won't cut grass tomorrow. Just thought maybe if I was in Copenhagen and just cut grass because I'm right there, right?
Yeah.
So where were you this morning, Justin?
I slept in a little bit this morning. Had a late night last night.
You were on what, 5 live streams last night?
I was on quite a few. I was on yours and then I went to Wedges for a little bit, but it was so busy over there. I just took off and I went over to Dan's for a little bit. Was over there for an hour or so and then I went to Bill's for a little while. Just kind of bounced around last night.
Yeah.
Hey, Rod.
Hey, Ryan, how's it going?
Pretty good. Sounds like Justin was working like a streetwalker.
Yeah.
Or as flaky as a $2 bill, one of the two.
Okay.
Yeah, Dominic ran off. I was going to ask him a question.
Oh, he'll be back. He's eating
Yeah.
breakfast. It's 7:02 in the morning there.
Yeah, I just finished dinner. I know that feeling. And it's a drone question.
Yeah, you're right there, JDS. Yeah, Rick and Trudeau here.
Although I imagine Justin's going to have some say on what I'm about to ask too.
Hmm.
And that
All right,
is,
well.
do you think the Mini 4 Pro is worth it? It's got the new sensors. It's got 04 AkiSync 4. Okay, whatever. More antennas. And it's got waypoints.
That's
If
the
you
only
have-
thing?
The camera is the same sensor. It's the 1/1.3.
I mean, if you got the Mini 3 Pro, no. If you got the Mini 2, yeah, I would say that's an upgrade.
Oh, that part I would agree with.
I don't know what's the price point. I don't know what the price point is.
About $100 more.
Than what the mini
The
three?
price, yeah, the price leaked this morning.
Well,
About
what
100
is it?
about
'Cause
100 It's about $100 more.
Yeah,
So
but what?
with the
give us-
RC, as an
full retail.
example, or $90. Sorry, $90.
Yeah, but what's full retail?
So the RC, so Mini 3 Pro with the RC is $909. The Mini 4 Pro with the RC2 is $999. So it's basically $90.
The mini three's gonna come down in price then.
Yeah, well, the Mini 3 did, the Mini 3 Pro didn't. They're having a sale. I was literally reading an article about that. They were having a sale on it, but the Pro will probably come on sale too. But it's
Can,
the part that's really starting to tick me off about them right now is they've got no backwards compatibility with the Air 3 right now with the O3 controllers. And the longer this goes on, the longer I begin to question what the hell they're gonna do, whether they're ever gonna make anything 04 backwards compatible with 03, and if they're doing this purely for fucking money grab marketing reasons. And
Yeah,
given
good
the fact that
old-fashioned
they
pop.
have less competitors, I think we're gonna start seeing them do some more stupid ass shit. Especially when you look and go, gee, this is all they added? Really? Is it really worth it? Yeah. Right. I keep talking about that drones have kind of plateaued. This is going to be the very first one that is for sure. You look at and go, okay, how's an iPhone 15 better than a 14? Is it really worth the $1,200, $1,300, $1,400?
Well, there's that about it.
No.
too.
The answer is no.
that's the thing is there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna sell their mini threes to buy it just because they want it.
And that's fine. They're more than welcome to do whatever they want if they got the money. You got the money and you want it, great. It's all you, but does it mean that you have some special drone that is so much better than the previous generation? No.
Hey. Steve Carpenter.
Hello.
Hey,
You can install Litchi and do waypoints with the Mini 3 Pro. So even the waypoint thing is, yeah, whatever. Hey, Steve, jump in here, damn it. I'd love to hear your opinion.
Well, there's no link in the chat or anything. Paul never put any of that in. So.
I scrolled back and needed to pin it.
I didn't put it in? Oh, shit.
It's in, but you didn't pin it. Fortunately,
I'll
there
scroll
hadn't been
back
enough
through.
chat that I was able to scroll
I
back
scroll
and
back
find it.
through old streams.
But this is for sure the absolutely first drone where you just like scratch your head and go, really? This is all the difference? Who cares? 03 over 04? Tell me why 03 is bad. It's not. You can already get more raids than you legally need. So, yeah. One half dozen the other. This will be the first one that will be drop dead obvious. The drones have plateaued. What would be more interesting is if they put the stack, the 1/1/3 stack sensor from the Air 3 on it. Since it's the exact same sensor size, there's nothing stopping them from doing it other than them. But if you notice that they seem to keep reusing that sensor, I'm going to talk about this on, I think, Wednesday on Coast to Coast. I was talking to Caleb after last week's show a little bit. This sort of proves my point about DJI being as impacted from the chip shortage as every other manufacturer, because you're noticing that they're putting the same sensor. Why would they do that? Because buying in enough volumes to make it economical for them versus a brand new sensor. Although that stack sensor, who knows what it costs them? Since it's so small, maybe not nearly as much as a full frame, with difference between full frame and full frame stack.
Well, you might as well just stop calling them DJI the leaks too. They're releases. Because I've never seen in my life seen a
sorta.
company. I've never in my life seen a company that has so many leaks. That shit's on purpose. I'm
Oh,
just
they
gonna call
all tech hardware companies do.
that's not a
Just
leak,
take
that's a
one out.
release. I'm just gonna call it a release.
Yeah, no, they do that to save on
He's
average.
here. He's
Hey,
here.
Steve, how you doing, buddy?
Now Steve can comment on
Hey.
my comment.
Hello, back
I
again.
only heard part.
Oh, I was saying if the Mini 4 doesn't make it obvious that drones have plateaued, I don't know what has, given how little difference there is between the Mini 4 and the Mini 3. The other part of it that I was commenting on that I'm starting to get a little nervous and a little worried about is they have done zero backward compatibility for the 04 devices to the 03 drones. Zero. And
I think it's going to be that way for a while. One of the things that I was talking with a friend of mine, I think they're trying to get this remote ID picked up of everything in the past. And I think that they may be working on that. I think they will be working on backwards compatibility, but how far back they're going to go, who knows?
come on, at least got to be compatible with the 03 one generation.
I think anyone that's not possible to do backwards compatibility, honestly, they should just grandfather them in, but you know, they're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
make
They-
you go out and
they
buy a stupid
produced-
module.
So part of the change, and I've watched Mad Techs on this, is that the actual chip is a newer chip. It's a new version of that telecom chip that they had on there. But hello, every new version of USB and everything else is a new freaking chip. It's still backwards compatible. So even if you design a new chip, why would you intentionally remove backwards compatibility possibility in processing out of the software for that? And it's just like, I'm beginning to wonder whether they're going to become bad DJI and start doing the typical.
What do you mean wondering if they're going to?
Yeah, well, or whether they're going to make it more obvious that they're sticking the knives in our back.
I mean, they really, I understand probably because of the financial situation and everything. When they had that breakthrough of all the bogus money and the funds that were going out and being shuttled back to those other managers, and they sliced, what was it, 300 and some odd heads at DJI, and we were talking hundreds of millions of dollars that were extorted out of the company. The ones where they never, to me, I lost all respect for them, is when they stopped on the Phantom and they didn't go ahead and push back onto it and put that RTK module out for so many people that are in the small business end of it that could have used it.
Mm-hmm.
And when they stopped that and pulled them off the market, that was BS. They're kind of like going for either going to go the high end consumer or the real low end. Low end consumer drones or the high end commercial drones. It'd be interesting to see what Dre picked up.
Yeah,
with
I'd love
him
to hear Dre's thoughts.
being over
around
commercial
this.
UAS, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was impressed as Sally French in her newsletter this morning. They talked about how Sony has the new camera for their drone, 61 megapixel.
So that's another interesting conversation. I remember when I watched, because I watch a lot of the camera YouTube stuff too, and I was like, why the hell did Sony create this ultra small full frame camera? And it dawned on me like a day later, they got something up their sleeves. Because one of the things I said when the AirPeak came out, that I was like, I like the concept of that AirPeak idea where the frame is separate from the camera.
Mm.
And you keep the frame and you upgrade the camera,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Why do I keep, hello, my drone can already fly 30 minutes. Why do I need more crap? Just give me a better camera to put on it.
Mhm.
You only have to change the airframe because of CPU power to process the video or whatever, right? The
Mhm.
throughput to store it, whatever, sort of becomes the limiting factor in potentially having to upgrade some of that crap. But I still think Sony is if somebody in their marketing is thinking about this as a way of, we can make drones that are reasonably priced to sell more cameras. Yeah.
Well, this
They
the
think
camera
AirPoint's
is only
making
for
about-
the camera is only for the drone.
Yeah. So eventually I think they'll make a smaller version of that AirPeak.
But they didn't design the camera. It was a third party designing firm that did all the designing of it.
Hmm.
It wasn't even Sony.
So
Yeah, but they
just
still
marketed
gave
it.
them the concepts and sort of the requirement. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a really teeny tiny full frame camera.
Yeah, if you don't, it didn't have it. Sally French, she had a little write up on it in her daily newsletter. It came out today.
I would love to see Sony take the idea of the AirPeak and bring it down to a much smaller frame to put that camera on.
Mhm. Well, with the AirPeak drone, it can carry a package like that because let's face facts, the smaller weight you can get on that camera body is going to leave more room for obviously for the lenses, and that's where all the weight is. The camera isn't that heavy; it's your
Yeah.
lens that's heavy. And I think they're trying to get into catch up to what DJI did with the new Inspire, more or
Inspire,
less being,
yeah.
AirPeak's
AirPeak's cheaper than Inspire. The drone's only 9,000 on the AirPeak.
But the Inspire, yes, it does it, but it comes with a complete package. I mean, that's coming with
I
actually
got it, but you have
6
to realize,
batteries, the charging case, everything. It comes as one complete package deal.
yeah, this AirPeak does too.
But I mean, for
So,
their
for
for
that
their
nine-
price,
For that
you
9
know.
grand. And people will go, well, what about the camera? And here's the part that I told everybody when the AirPeak rumor and stuff first came around. The people that are going to buy it already have the freaking camera. That's the point. It's a drone to
Mhm.
fly the camera that they already own. They already own the $5,000-$6,000 camera. They
Mhm.
already own like 5 of the $2,000 freaking lenses to go on those cameras. They have the camera equipment. They just need something to fly the silly thing on.
Yeah.
So, and that's the beauty of the AirPeak. Well, what's one of the other challenges with drone footage versus ground footage? Matching the footage and colors and color science and all that crap up, right? Well, if you're using the same camera on the ground that you're using on the drone, boy, it sure makes that work seem a lot easier.
Sure.
So, conceptually, there's some interesting things Sony can do.
Yeah, we have, it goes back and forth because, if you're talking regular cameras and stuff, because I follow regular camera stuff too. And I know Nikon and Canon right now with their new stuff coming out is going to knock the socks off from Sony.
In the case of Nikon, they're using Sony sensors.
Mm.
Because I'm a Canon person. I've got Canon glass. I'm not going to go out there and.
Or is it Canon that uses Sony? I forget which one of those two uses Sony's sensors.
Either way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nikon makes their own and Canon uses Sony.
That was like when
Something like
Black Magic came out with their mini, mini camera. That's
Mhm.
the Canon glass.
So I was a big fan, and I still keep my eye open because it's time for them to release a version 3 is X Dynamics,
Mm.
which
If
is
they do.
basically a Phantom 5. Roughly.
Yeah. At a higher price.
At a higher price. But imagine that X Dynamics with that Sony camera.
That would be
That would,
phenomenal.
as small as that camera is, that would be possible on that size of an airframe.
I don't know, because by the time you put the lens on it, that's a lot heavier weight on the package.
Yeah.
I mean, the payload package was about the same as a Phantom. A Phantom is not going to pick up with a lens going on it.
The
It's
problem with the X
barely going to get
Dynamics,
up
it
off
didn't
the
have the back, it
ground.
didn't have the back, it didn't have the flight, it didn't quite have the flight time down. But
Yeah, because their
But
camera.
anyways, I'm still saying it's possible to get something in that size range. Maybe it's a little bit bigger, right? With that full frame camera on it.
Well, if they did, and they got it on the market and got all the glitches out that they had before, now
Mm,
that's something that could come in to hit the US market to take it over for law enforcement agencies and everything else then.
mm. Sony, if there are people using their heads, have got to be, there's some really bloody interesting possibilities of where they obviously went after the market where they needed to use it, right? Obviously flying their cameras around to shoot movies and things like that. That's kind of what the Air Peak was built philosophically around, was for Sony's movie studios, for themselves more than probably as much as anybody else. It just offered it up to other people to do the same thing they were going to do.
Mhm.
But the long-term possibilities of what they can do with that framework is pretty damn interesting, especially if they come
What,
down.
I don't remember. Do you remember what the payload is on the Air Peak?
Yeah, any Sony Alpha camera.
No, total package weight.
I'm not sure what the max is. They make some pretty damn big, gigantic counterbalances to put some big lenses on that thing. So
That's what I was just wondering, because that's what it's going to be up to, because you well know, and most of the people do, is your camera is the cheap part. It's your glass that's going to cost you.
yeah, you're not
And
going to
the
put a
glass is
5
extremely
pound.
heavy.
Yeah, you're not going to put a 5 pound F500 on there, or a 500 millimeter on there. But that's kind of the point of having a drone, is trying to be able to get closer in the first place. So I don't know that you necessarily need that kind of a range. But
Yeah, and I'm wondering too if they're going to have the capabilities going forward to use zoom lenses on it, to where you can actually do the adjustable
Mhm.
zooming on it. That will be cool on that new camera.
see, I think DJI, I'll be honest, DJI screwed us on the Mavic 3. Tell me why. Tell me why they needed the multiple cameras to do the zoom. Why did they just
team-
not put a zoom on top of the one sensor and let it zoom in and out just like any other freaking camera, instead of giving us multiple sensors and not necessarily the same size sensors?
You're talking on
The Mavic 3. Instead of having 3 cameras, why can't I just have one with a telephoto lens sitting on that Micro Four Thirds
Mhm.
that zooms in and out? Just like a normal camera, right? Hello, I can zoom in and out on a normal camera. I could get my little camera pocket. I can get my little Canon pocket camera that could zoom in and out to 30x optical.
And that's all has to do with weight too. We know both
Come on,
know-
it's DJI. Tell me they can't do it.
they may not be able to without going into a point. It's going to be so cost ineffective that the average person
Versus
isn't going to
putting
buy it.
versus putting 2 other cameras and buying the glass for the 2 other cameras.
Yeah,
and-
but those are sensors that are just on the market. You pick them up and throw them in. You're talking about a piece
Yeah, but
of
they already
glass
have
that's zooming.
they already have the Micro Four Thirds. You think the cost of those other 2 cameras outweighs the cost of a telephoto lens on the one camera?
Yeah, I'll bet you it's a lot cheaper because they don't have anything out there. What company has a zoom? I mean, you're talking about having to come up and design and come from scratch that you're going to be able to get a real steady zoom in and out, especially if you're talking about, like the fixed apertures of the ones of going, 70 millimeter and what was it, 24 millimeter? What's the other one?
Come on, I can go to Walmart or Best Buy and get a camera for $300-400 that will do, well, actually, no, $600
What's up, Tim?
for that one. That will literally do 30x optical, zooming in and out. Actually,
you.
I have the one. I have the one Canon. It's sitting on a 1-inch sensor.
That was one of the things I was going to do upgrading. I wasn't going to go to a full 1-inch sensor. I stuck with my crop
Anyways,
for what I do.
Mini 4, ho hum. So what? Time to start skipping time to start skipping 2 or 3 generations.
Yeah,
of
but
drones.
is the Phantom 5 going to be coming out?
Yep. It'll be out by
Well,
Christmas.
from the end user perspective, the Phantom 5 is always coming. From DJI's perspective, who knows? Probably not.
And the problem there, once again, it's, so many people have been able to adapt the foldable version of drones and their newer drones. And let's face facts, taking a Phantom 4 versus a class, say a 3 Classic, to be around the same pricing and to get the quality of an image that you can off from that. What's the difference? You're going to take the foldable drone.
Well, the other thing too is, at what point is the people that are buying and flying drones going to say, I don't need all that other stuff. If I don't need it, I'm not going to buy it. I don't care.
Right. And I think we're at that point for sure where,
because my flying, as you guys know, that Air 3, the
Air 2.
class does everything I need it to do.
And you want to know something? What's funny? There's a drone that's probably just as good as that Air 2S.
Yeah, clean your room, Laura.
And that's the Mavic 2 Pro. The Mavic 2 Pro.
I don't think, Justin, I don't
Laura.
think she was telling you just a minute. It was the other
Yeah.
thing.
But
Yeah,
the,
he
that,
was
that
telling
1-inch
me- she was
camera,
telling him, here is my minute.
Just relaying Tim's message.
Oh, Tim's picking on her?
Yeah, he's in the chat talking all kinds of crap.
but that 1-inch sensor on the Mavic 2 Pro, that thing produces a really good quality picture still.
Now let's just go back to compare to the Phantom. To this date, there's no, if you're doing especially like small commercial work, and you're using it for mapping and stuff like that, that mechanical shutter on that thing,
Sure.
hands down on the Phantom, no one out there can touch it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. But it also had the 1-inch sensor.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Looks
saying.
like-
It's a 1-inch
So
sensor.
that kind of points out kind of about where the plateau is, right? Once you get to a 1-inch sensor, does it really make it any difference after that?
Well, okay,
Yeah, minimal.
my Air 2S has a 1-inch sensor on it,
Yes,
Mhm.
and it does everything I need it to do.
yes.
I would
That's
say
an-
I was gonna say where I think drones are at right now. You should just stick what you have for a year or two and then upgrade.
Yeah,
I do that
Don't worry
anyways.
about
I wait at least
Yeah,
if I've got a drone, which okay, that would be the Air 2. I didn't buy the Air 2S. If I was going to buy it with the 3 coming out when it did, no, I'm looking after adaptability of what I need it for.
Bill
And
Nye in the
now
chat
I'm going
over
to start traveling a little bit more, so I'm going to be looking possibly at a mini drone.
again, this is the conversation I've been trying to get everybody to get their heads wrapped around and that is, what's your use case?
Yep.
This latest drone, unless it gives you something that matches your use case, do you really need to? No, you don't. Stick with what you got. It will still look just fine.
Kick his ass, Laura.
But every company that has big ticket items, let's take the auto industry. There's people go out and get the biggest, baddest cars. There's nothing wrong with the car they got.
Yeah.
It's like that in
Exactly.
every industry. I mean, there's people that go out and buy every 6 months. They'll go buy a damn new computer.
Eventually
Or-
you will upgrade your drone because the drone's getting old and you're starting to worry about the thing breaking, parts wearing out, things like that. Just like a car kind of thing.
Battery
But
life.
you don't have to buy the new model next year.
What's
There's
life
answer to everything,
expectancy
Laura.
on it? You know, you just got to figure that out and what you're going to use
Right,
it
I'm
for.
gonna annoy him now.
Laura got her drone back.
Yep.
And she still has
You
a
did?
phone.
You know, the life expectancy depends on how long DJI is going to keep fixing it.
No, or what tree you crash it into.
Yeah,
you
that,
take off.
well, that's it. That too. That's true of any.
Or water.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the one good thing about DJI versus like Alltel is they do support their drones a lot longer, and because they're more popular, you tend to have third-party people that will make, batteries and shit for them when they get even to a really old age, like the Inspire One,
Mm,
you know? So you
Oh.
can have them for quite a few years, and there's still
Mm.
companies that fix them, like Drone Nerds, Drone Works. I mean,
You
you can still
know,
send an Inspire One to them and they'll fix it.
I have my Evo 2 Pros and they're 3 years old, and I still fly them, and they still fly great, and they still
I've
take
got
great
my
videos.
original.
I'm not saying
I've
that,
got my
but-
original Mavic Pro. I had to
Alltel-
I had to go out and buy a third-party battery, but
Yeah,
it still flies perfectly.
But Alltel seems to abandon their drones a lot quicker.
no, it is not with the Evo 2. I would argue the one thing that they've done about the way
No.
they've done the V1, V2, V3, it's the same damn battery 3 years later. So for me having a V1, I'm going to have batteries for a long time because the V3 just came out. So I'm looking at another 2 to 3 years of them producing batteries. So this drone might be 5, 6 years old by the time.
Right,
it
but
gets
how
to the
long
point where I
before
can't get
you-
batteries?
But say a year's time, you break an arm, are you gonna be able to send it in and still get it fixed?
Yes, there'll be parts around. They won't
Right.
fix it. Somebody else, the aftermarket guys will.
I just, as far as drones go, I just see more of the third-party guys making stuff for DJI drones than anything though.
Yeah, because look at the volume they're selling. I mean, you're trying to compare, a Tel
Well,
being
that's the
here
only,
and,
that's the only.
and
other-
DJI being, here.
Yeah, but
and-
that's the only other company to compare them to. I mean, who else you comparing them to?
And in my
the
case,
rest
I
of
have
them are all
2 of the Evo 2
industrial.
Pros, so I already have a backup.
What do you mean, Justin? What about Hubson?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's the best company out there. They move volume.
Hey, Paul Hodges, which model Autel do you have?
The Evo 2 Pro Enterprise.
Okay.
See, there's nothing wrong with the the Hubsons, there was nothing really ever wrong with those except for they could never get the fucking camera straight on them. That was like the only problem they had was their camera gimbals sucked. I don't know if it was a software issue or a hardware issue. But if they would have got that, their drones weren't bad. People actually liked them. They just
Mhm.
got annoyed because
Well,
They
the
could never get the
Autel came
camera.
out with the orange pumpkin.
well, they could never get the cameras on the Hubsons to
Oh,
get
you're
leveled
talking
out.
about the Hubson. I never
Yeah,
looked.
they were. They always had a horizon tilt on them. Every one of them that they
Yeah.
released. But the drones themselves flew good. They had good range. They were decent for the price. I mean, I can't
Well,
really bag
I
on
know
them
people
too
that
hard.
had the Hubsons and they said they were a little quirky.
Yeah,
I-
that's
I-
fair.
But for what you paid for them, they were. If the camera would have been good on them, they would have been a solid.
Well, it's like
drone for
anything
what you were
else.
paying.
If you're used to driving a Porsche and you jump in a Yugo, you're going to notice the difference.
And then you have one other drone company that's out there that now that they've proven their tech, if they can put a better camera on their next version, they might become pretty damn good in the consumer market.
Who's that?
V-copter, that
Oh, is it?
V-copter, that thing flies for 50 plus minutes, and that's for real, 50 plus minutes.
Mhm.
The only thing was it was not quite as good a camera. But to be honest, they were probably more working on just getting the thing flying in the first place. They weren't trying to really
You know,
knock
and I don't
everybody's
hear a lot of
socks
people
off kind of
flying.
thing.
I don't hear about a lot of people flying the V-copter either.
Well, the
Johnny Drone
V-cop-
Flyer has it. He had it
the
at the
V-
South Florida Drone Meetup. People were flying around. They were
Oh,
they
it
were
was super
actually
popular
surprised.
when it got released. A lot of people, there was actually quite a few people that got it.
It's just the camera that is not quite up to par.
Well,
So
'cause
they
they were releasing the camera at an Air 2 or the
yeah,
drone at
yeah,
an Air
yeah.
2 level,
yeah.
but it was like a camera for a Spark. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? It just wasn't at the level of where the other drones
I'll
were
just
at that time.
say the software in the drone flies fine. It's not quirky like the Hubsan and flying around. Everybody that flew that thing at the South Florida Drone Meetup was like, wow, this thing's kind of smooth. And it was responsive and all that kind of stuff. So if they could fix and put a higher quality camera on that thing and then whatever their next release version is, now that they got the drone actually working,
How
They
does
could
it,
end
how
up-
does it
they could end
handle
up being-
wind and what kind of speed was it?
better actually with the because you have to remember it's using two, so the drones kind of swing is a pendulum underneath kind of thing. So the wind doesn't impact it nearly as bad as having the four. It's gimbaled it's gimbaled on the gimbal. So the props are gimbaled on those arms. So you really kind of do have four. It's just that there's two in each arm. It kind of two gimbals in each arm.
Mm.
True
They
Blizzard.
did it great. They did it. In watching Johnny flying around, and I think I don't know if Ron flew it or Marcus flew it. I know Johnny gave it to some other people and had them flying it around down there at South Florida Drone Meetup, and everybody kind of had the same comment. It was like, wow, this thing flies pretty good.
Yeah, because we had a big conversation about that when they released it, and that's pretty much the only gripe people had was it was like a Spark camera, but it was being released with other drones at the same price range that had the Air 2 camera at the time. You know,
Mhm.
4K, 60, you know, it just wasn't up to par on the camera wise. It was a couple years out of date, pretty much. But they took forever to release it too. What they show that thing off like what, 2
Yeah.
years before anybody got it?
But now
think
that
it
they got
was.
now that they got the platform, right? It'd be
'Cause-
interesting to see what their next version ends up being like and doing. If they get the right camera on it, they already beat DJI on flight time.
Cause
But
they,
they-
Well,
they,
you know, what's interesting too is at the commercial UVA, they didn't really have much in the way of new drones there. And you figure that they would have had, you know, little hints of something coming up, because here we are in September and the CES is coming up in 5 months. So you think that it had some subtle hints in there.
Steve, you know what's driving the market right now, right?
oh, John, he said, I seen a
When it-
commercial for a drone the Navy SEALs
Yeah.
used.
When it
It's only
comes to
20
when it
bucks.
comes to the electronics, you know what's driving the market right now, right?
Yeah, it's called bullshit.
Oh,
It's
that's funny,
called-
John.
It's called capacity, and the fact that TSMC upped their silicon manufacturing prices by 30% because they were oversold, didn't have enough capacity for all the stuff until finally Nvidia and some of those others started dropping back because it all hit a wall. So the change to all of that will be sort of late next year,
Mm.
mid to late next year. You will start seeing
John,
new
Mr. JRC.
you're going to start seeing the new fabs come online that government started, well, especially here in the US. There's a few of them that Foxconn or TSMC is doing out in Arizona to bring online. I forget how many labs they got that are going to be producing out there. But anyway, you're going to see new capacity come online. And once that happens, so that manufacturers aren't getting like massively knee-jerked on pricing, hopefully that'll start bringing some of the silicon pricing down so that anything that uses electronics kind of stuff you'll see manufacturers starting to do some other stuff. It's just really bloody expensive right now to change. This is why I'm telling you, this is why DJI is using that 1/130 and like everything that they're releasing right now. It's the same damn sensor. Why? Because it was the only thing they could buy in enough volume to make the pricing worth it.
And
to
it's
do it.
it's already in production. It's proven. You're not having to deal with any R&D.
If you have to,
anything.
if you have to change those dies right now, you're going to incur that 30% price increase. And whatever it is.
John, I got a $5 coupon if you buy 2 of them. Just saying.
Steve, this price jump is so bad that a lot of the Android manufacturers are going to stay on the Gen 2 of the Qualcomm instead of going to the Gen 3 on their next releases because of the price increase that went up on the Gen 3 and what it cost Qualcomm to manufacture those because it was a new platform with that 30% increase in the pricing. So there's literally a bunch of Android guys that are going to stay on the Gen 2s because of that. So that pricing's driving a lot of what's going on right now.
And that too is going to have to come out when we get some more information coming out of China, because right now their financial situation, they are unstable as crap.
Hugely
Bit of
unstable.
trouble.
And there is going to be a major turnaround. And if some of these companies are coming back here to start producing in the States, then you're going to have the turnaround time of building the facilities, getting them out, the testing, and who knows? We're looking at least a minimum of 2 years for a startup.
That's what I'm saying. The chip factories will start coming online in 2024, 2025. And there's several of them, including, I think there's one in Malaysia that's going to come online too.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of these Chinese companies don't abandon China and just get the hell out. I wouldn't be surprised.
Hello. It's
Are they
already,
allowed to?
it's already happened. More than 50% of Apple is now manufactured in India, not in China.
No, I'm talking about Chinese companies like DJI.
Yeah,
wouldn't be
well,
Are
surprised
they
if they
allowed
don't-
to?
they're
Yeah,
not
but-
allowed to.
What's to say they don't shut down their manufacturing and all the head of the company just get up and leave? Like, well, who the fuck's gonna? How it's possible they could do
Well,
it
the problem you have with that
But-
theory is
because
Chinese
they could,
Chinese
they could-
companies, they play like they're private, but they're owned by the government.
but they could say they're moving over, building some stuff out of the country in some other countries.
Yeah, but
And they could slowly
would
move enough shit out to where they could move the company without the government knowing.
no, they can't.
Totally plausible.
The government controls every move that a Chinese company does.
Yeah,
Hello?
you can
They've had billion-
thank Google and Microsoft for that, because they're the ones that invented the software and the technology for doing everything that they're tracking on people. And that's why they wanted to come over here.
Yet they don't want to use any American software.
Well, yeah, Huawei, I wouldn't
Mhm.
want it here either. Every single word coming out of your mouth would be going to China.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, Justin, and I kind of know this because of what I do, I'll just say there's a lot of big companies that are slowly moving other places,
Oh yeah.
especially in the tech industry. There's a lot moving to Vietnam. There's some moving to the Philippines.
They're saying that
There's some
India's the new
moving
China.
to Malaysia.
They're
The
calling it.
clothing industry in particular has really heavily moved to Vietnam and South America and Colombia.
Well, that's why they
Yeah.
make a lot of toys now. They're making a lot of toys in Vietnam too.
Yep.
But there's they keep calling India the new China, so.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot moving to India too.
But the great thing about India is they don't have that same culture that China has. I would rather work with India any day
Sure.
than China.
Mm.
They're really not that bad of the way that they operate. They're really not a bad country. I mean, they're a
Hello.
little bit dirty and polluted, but that's their own doing.
Other than that,
I mean, they train with our military, so.
Well,
uh,
they were ruled by colonialism, so they have our enterprise business sort of mentality to doing business. So, as well.
oh, whatever, Russell. The hell out of here.
Good one, Russell.
So yeah, the China's take 2008 here in the US and probably multiply by 5. And that's the kind of problem that's about to drop on China right now.
Well, you know, the big thing here is, did you hear about iPhone not being allowed to be sold in China now?
Hadn't heard that one. Doesn't
Same way
surprise
with
me.
Tesla.
There've been lots of chatter about that.
They
Anyway.
banned Tesla over there too. Any Teslas being able to be imported as
Well,
well.
what's ironic is they're built there. The iPhones are all built and assembled there.
India. It's
Yeah,
all
they
moving.
moved,
It's all
they're
moving to
moving,
India.
they moved a bunch of it to India now.
No,
because
no,
that-
I know, but I'm talking about the circuit boards and everything like that, because the company that I knew the CEO, well, I haven't seen him, I still know him, but the CEO, they designed the very first iPhone circuit board, and all that was done over in China. And when they went over there, that was the most rudest awakening that they ever witnessed. They built a whole plant over there, had it ready to go, get all your people trained and everything. Chinese New Year's comes, because when you get
Fucking
paid,
Russell.
you only get 50% of your salary on your monthly basis or biweekly basis. Then on Chinese New Year's, you get the other half of your salary.
Dilly gap.
They'd
All
go and they wouldn't come back. They lost 35% of their workforce from one
First year?
from 1 year to the to the next. And he goes, that was the most eye-opening experience we ever saw.
Dilly
Yeah,
gaff,
no
that's
doubt.
what you think about all that, Tim? Dilly gaff? Nice spelling there, buddy.
Who?
I don't know. Trying to figure out what the hell Tim's talking about. I
You
know what
don't
the
know what
hell-
that stands for.
No.
No.
Does it look
And then-
like I give a
Does it look like I give a good, yeah, okay.
And Steve, here's the other
the
thing.
last
Just from
last word is a swear word?
Yeah, he couldn't spell all that out anyway, so.
If you were this, if you were
Shortens
the,
it.
if you were the CEO of a company and you see what China has done as far as the zero COVID crap.
Oh, he
and
figured it
You
out.
could
Holy
build,
shit.
some manufacturing over there or not over there. Would you build it over there? Knowing the risk of a country that's that densely
I knew
populated?
I knew the risk about this going on probably 15 years ago or more of what China does as far as their dictatorship
Mhm.
and what they'll do to control companies over there.
Yeah.
Because there was I went to 2 seminars 2 years in a row, and it was the subject matter was called doing business in China. That was the first year. The second year, you cannot afford not to do business in China. Well, that was a real interesting one, because here was, oh, there's our green sheet.
I didn't think the background was on.
They had a company that was there that built wind generators, the turbines,
Mhm.
got them all built, everything. Well, obviously they were on the closer to the coast, because you're having to ship huge turbines versus
Sure.
like, you know, with the iPhone circuit boards and stuff, they can be anywhere in. You can fly that stuff out to get them to an airport and then out from there. But they got everything assembled. They got their first orders ready to go, got to the docks, frozen. Wouldn't let them ship out
Mm.
Wow.
until a year later. Now here you are as a company. You've got all this inventory built, sitting on the dock. You can't get it delivered a year later. The company owned 49% of themselves. 51% of the company was now owned by the Chinese government. The day they signed that contract, the cranes were lifting that stuff onto ships the next following day.
Unbelievable.
No,
Well,
sadly,
anyways.
Dominic, it is believable.
It is. Disney even got, this is way before
Well, they extorted
Dis-
Apple for like 300 or 400
China,
million.
Disney's there. And that's the other thing is Disney's in a big heap deep load of you know what.
Yeah, we know that.
Oh yeah, but they also, that's one of the reasons why Apple was leaving China, because they extorted them for over, it was like 300 or 400 million.
Mm.
They
I'll
made
just
them
say
pay.
they're not the only company that's leaving. The only tech company that's leaving China. There's more.
And
No,
it was
yeah, 'cause
ironic
they're gonna
'cause
start building more shit over here, that's why.
when I was going to those seminars, there was because I had GE stock and stuff like that, and that was one of the visitors. They were moving their healthcare facilities over there. The reason being for the future for them to build all the MRI machines and everything else, they have a larger population growth there that those machines can be used by building them there is going to be cheaper for them.
Mm.
And then the ones that they have to ship here to the States and other countries, you incur the cost of shipping because of the amount of growth and people that they were getting out of the farmlands and everything like that and get them into a
No,
suburban
apples are
area.
better too. Oh, apple juice is much better, Tim.
I can't drink apple juice.
I love apple juice.
I just don't like the color of it.
Give me a little juice box and mess some things up.
Too reminiscent, huh, Dom?
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm drinking a urine sample.
Or Orchard Whiz, right?
That's why you drink them out of a juice box and you don't have to look at it. Like when Sarah buys a 12-pack of juice boxes, I dust about 8 of them and then I blame the kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Oh
don't know what
my
happened to
gosh.
them. Like you go plant them in the kids' room. You put them up in
Yeah.
the bed, you put them on the desk. I don't know what happened to them.
I hope Sarah's
Exactly.
listening.
Yeah, the thing that worries me most about anything as far as economics and where we're standing, because we've been so relying on all the other countries that we used to make here, the products, and it's all shipped overseas and coming out of, Taiwan or, now China. Vietnam, like you say, has really been building up. I had a friend of mine that was just over there. He says, he hadn't been there in like 8 years. He goes, in 8 years, he says it was like, oh my God, you just can't believe the growth there in the last 8 years.
And they will be on our side because they're afraid of the Chinese. So they need the US.
Yep.
And they need to be friendly with the US because China is sitting there. So we'll
Well,
we'll always have sway with them.
Well,
all the
somewhat
Asian-
of
To an
Taiwan.
extent.
All the Asian countries hate China, to be honest with you. Most of
Yeah,
them.
they do. Yeah, they do.
What was the one, the Philippines? Was that the one
Mm.
that just brought us
Yeah.
back?
Mhm.
Where we were technically over them for a while back in,
Yeah, they were a
back in the day.
colony. We won them
Half
after
the
the
days.
Spanish-American War.
And then they actually felt like, even though we were their original colonizers, they feel like we're the best option to go with because they just don't trust China. And China keeps bullying all their fishing vessels and stuff coming up on their shore with their Navy ships.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
literally a mile off their shore saying, oh, you can't fish here. Oh, hell no, get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
The
international
Philippines actually have the Philippines have a ship out in the water. It's about a mile out,
That
And it's
rusty
actually-
tanker sitting on that one shoal.
but they
Yeah.
use it as an actual base.
Yeah, I know. And the Chinese Coast Guard keeps them from
threaten them.
resupplying it.
They keep threatening them, telling them that they're not allowed to use it. And I'm like, how are you going to come up in their waters? You're not 15, 20 miles out trying to harass somebody. You're literally coming up on their shoreline.
Hey,
trying to tell
Dominic,
them what
That's
to do.
because China's looking at it to come in to build a new island there.
Yeah, Parker,
Hey,
that's
hello.
Angel. That's Angel.
Parker U.S.
Angel
aircraft
Keating.
carrier up the coast. I'd be not
The masked bandit.
Thankfully,
Angel
mine are
Kitty's pretty
asleep.
big too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine are asleep at least. So
She's
don't
12,
wake them.
13 pounds.
Don't wake them.
No, China
That's it.
has done that, and even going up off from South Korea, same way.
And they're
So-
and their Navy is so unprofessional too. Have you ever listened to the radio chatter back and forth between them and the US Navy?
Yeah, I
They're
heard
they're
some.
so they sound so inexperienced, unorganized, and they're just very unprofessional. Like the US, you know, they're very responsive in their radio chatter. They speak correctly. They use, you know, international
That's
terms
because
for nautical.
a lawyer has had to look at it.
But you know, the Chinese, they'll be like, no, leave now or else. It's like, what are you gonna
Well,
do?
look,
Do
look
something.
at it. You know, we got them on the doorstep of the whole Aleutian Islands. They were up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Japanese are arming those islands all the way down to the tip of Taiwan there.
Mhm.
They're pretty much surrounding them at this point.
Yeah, but they were up on our inside our international boundaries. They were outside, but they actually did cross into our boundary waters.
Oh yeah, was it when them and Russia were up by Alaska, wasn't it?
Mhm. That's what
They
I
were
said.
doing
The
that,
Aleutian
yeah.
Islands up there.
And then if you look at their aircraft carriers, dude, they're so afraid to run exercises off their like flight exercises off their aircraft carriers that they have to be within enough flight distance to be able to land at an airport because they're too scared to get too far away from an airport. They've only actually done one exercise where they weren't in range of an airport if they couldn't land because they're I'm sorry, but they're a shitty Navy. I don't care how big they are.
Well, we just have shitty admirals in the Navy with them designing their ships with the LCSs that they built, and here we've got a whole entire fleet that's going to be supposedly the original boats were going to be built at for 230 million apiece, ended up over double, and none of the platforms except for their actual gun mounting and stuff that's on those frigates, like the only thing that works. So the anti-submarine, their detection won't work, and for the minesweeping can't work because of the jets of the hydrojets coming out of for the turbines. It disrupts it and they can't use it for detection anymore. So now the only thing that are left, and which they don't have yet, is for minesweeping. And this vessel started building in 2008, and here we are with 35 or 38 vessels now of them, and it's a box floating on the water. So we're no better than they are when you're our government going in and their brilliance. You build 30 some warships and they can't do anything.
I wouldn't say they're just complete useless.
The only thing
mean,
there
that's
is
something you could-
the guns on board to shoot. That's it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is those can always be fixed and retrofitted if you can come up with a design.
They're not going to do it. You know
retrofit
what they're trying to do now? They're going to start retiring them out as backups.
They're gonna start selling them to third world nations.
I think I'll go down and put a bid on one, $1.
Sad
You
part of it
know,
is,
there's still a helicopter platform, so from an anti-submarine perspective, you could still fly a submarine. You can still
The-
fly a
the-
chopper
the-
off of that thing.
the
because
sad part of it
anti-submarine
is,
stuff,
Steve,
so.
if they gave you one, you couldn't afford it for one day.
I couldn't afford to fill it up.
Yeah,
The amount of fuel it uses, because you've got you got the Independence class and the Freedom class. The one's a monohull and then the tri-hull.
Yeah.
Then what happened is on the monohull, they put them in together so that the regular drive engine and the jet engine is coming out through the propulsion. So you've got that on there. I mean, you could have to have almost a fueler right alongside you, pumping the fuel in. That's how much it would be sucking up in order to go along. And so you have no room on board those vessels for other platforms you could put on, because it has to have so much room for fuel and maintenance. And right now there's, what is it? It's 40 to 60 people on board a vessel, on each vessel. and they can't keep up with the breakdowns. And yet they're pushing them out and sending them out. In fact, the last 3 that went out had to be brought in back under tug.
Towed back to port, huh? Well, and everybody wonders, Rod, why our government's so screwed up.
Mm.
To me, every single person at the Pentagon in the naval portion that approved that, you're out of there. Gone. Clean heads. It's all about politics instead of being about what works.
Well, it's not only that, though. If that's the case, they should hold the contractors responsible as well.
Well,
Because the companies that are,
the design is flawed.
Well, no, they
Yeah, but
designed it. They designed it underneath their specs. What had happened is the Navy changed what they wanted it to do along the way, and that's what doubled the price of it. And they couldn't
Sure.
get it to work. And then,
Gross,
in
Tim.
the infamous wisdom of the Pentagon, they cannot work on almost 75% of the systems on board the ship. It has to be done by the shipbuilder for repairs.
Wow.
So here you are, see, you got to bring one of the manufacturers on board in order to do the work. Because it's proprietary equipment.
And what
I'm
they
sorry.
found out in the meantime is the Arleigh Burke V3s work pretty well.
Yeah.
So they ordered
Well,
some more. So they ordered some more of those.
No,
Or is it the V4s? I was reading the article on that.
because my dad, he was on the original USS Fletcher, which the Fletcher class was the #1, destroyer class.
Destroyer, yeah.
that they ever had out there.
JRC, it depends. It could be a various different kinds of cargo that go by. Could be limestone, could be iron ore, could be salt, could be all kinds of. Some of the foreign going vessels are called package lifters. They might carry a cargo of equipment or whatever.
and Tim, I could have, you not known that. You could have just went and got in the damn shower.
What is Tim sudsing his thing up or what?
You just said, okay, shower time. I didn't need to know that. Just go get in the damn shower.
Okay, well, I won't say when I need to go for a shower then.
And Steve, that's probably one of the more as expensive as the Ford class was. The long-term thinking in that investment and the fact that they can build that thing and have 1,000 less sailors, and because it's no longer steam based, it's electrical based everywhere. It's a lot easier to fix and repair and be able to sustain damage.
And the reactors are easier to get to as well.
Yeah, it's a newer version of the reactors.
But the
That
only
one was
issue,
expensive, but boy, did they build that thing. Appears to be built really right. Really,
well, the
really
only
right.
issue I saw with it when I was watching the documentary on it was the launch system for the planes. That was about the only issue. That
Yeah.
was about the hardest thing they were having issues with. The rest of the ship seemed to run great.
Yeah, because you got mechanicals.
But it's that electromagnetic launch system, the
Yeah,
catapult
the EMALs.
system.
The EMALs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was about the only issue that they were having trouble getting down because it's kind of very advanced. So
You
it was
know,
kind
they
of a
got the
new
EMALs
technology.
working before they got one of the ammo elevator problems fixed.
Oh yeah, that was one other issue they had. Yeah, with the
That
Ammo
ammo
elevator.
elevator, that one ammo elevator took longer to fix than EMALs did.
Yeah, in fact, she was here in San Diego. I'm trying to remember how many months ago she was in port here in San Diego. Gerald Ford.
Hmm.
Oh, I'd love to see that ship in person.
I know the Navy has said they'll never try to put 23 new systems on an aircraft carrier again.
They'll never what? I'm sorry.
they'll never put 23 new systems on an aircraft, on the next generation aircraft here. They'll never attempt to swallow that many changes.
Well,
Oh,
that was with
again.
my dad. Like I said, he was on the U.S. Fletcher. Well, they had a reunion group that went on. Well, it's still going, but there's only a couple, like 2-3 people left on board that were on board the original Fletcher, but the subsequent USS Fletcher that they launched, that was relaunched in Mississippi, and they had their reunion there. And it was really funny because I was wearing, my dad gave me the hat that was given over there. And those hats were actually crew member hats. They're not, the ones that you buy off. And I wore it to one of our suppliers at the time. I was over picking up some equipment from our suppliers. And the guy looked at me and he goes, "You were on the Fletcher?" I'm going, no. My dad was down there at the christening. I said, I was in the Navy, the Air Force, not the Navy. And he goes, "I was on the ship." And he was there when my dad was there, come to find out. And I
interesting.
told him, but these poor sailors were dropping like flies because of the heat and the humidity. They had all the guests underneath cover, but
Sure.
the rest of the crew, the crew and everybody there, the shipmates are all over there in the sun, and they were just dropping. Well, they brought her over here to San Diego, and I couldn't get away. But what they offered is anybody that was on the original USS Fletcher to take, you could come with you and 3 other members of your family, so a group of 4, and they were going to take you out on a run, and you would be put back in your position if it still existed.
Yeah.
You had all these guys standing out there, what the hell? All these robots in there doing everything.
Well, my dad would have been there. He was a radar man, so
Yeah. Back to the LHCs, right? The Freedom and the Independence. You
Yeah.
know, one of the things the Navy keeps knocking about them, and I read an article about it, and the guy was fucking dead on. One of the reasons they're going, oh, but this thing can't fight by itself in a highly contested area. And he was making the point of, do you sail just one ship into an environment? No, you sail an entire fleet in. So what's wrong with having a ship that isn't the end all be all, everything in one platform kind of ship that happens to be along with some other ships too? Maybe instead of trying to wrap everything into one, maybe we should have more. The less targets you have, the less missiles the other guy needs to kill you.
yeah. But what part I'm trying to get is you build this vessel, and you've got it out there, and you're designing it for minesweeping, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think, as far as any common sense person would have more sense than these people with PhDs, that you've got a jet-driven turbine water charge system coming out and you're towing an array behind it? What do you think it's going to do to it?
Yeah.
Have you seen this clip? Watch it.
No.
Thing was tracking a damn airliner.
No. Oh man. No.
That would have been the end of that airliner.
Yep.
I love the reaction on the ship.
I tried to think of the guy's name that I follow. He's over here. He's from California here. It's what's going on with shipping, or what about shipping? He's got a YouTube channel, and he covers all kinds of stuff. But his last one that he came out with talks about the LCSs, and he has been in the Merchant Marines. He's been in a bunch of other stuff, and he's designing engineering. He's got a real big background in the shipping industry. And what got me, it came up as a suggestion, was with all these EV units that are coming on board the ships and all the ship fires that are happening all over the world because of all these electric batteries that they're having on board fires. And it's bad. In fact, I think it was Boston, Harbor or on the East Coast, I think it was Boston. They went in there and how many firefighters were injured and one death because they didn't know how to fight it because of all these electrical battery cars that were on board.
Oh, yeah, that ship that had all those EVs on board that they basically let just turn
Yeah, but
into a
th-
Hulk
there's
and
been-
burn out.
There's been several of them coming on board, and some of them surfaced because I'm sure it's because of a lot of salt spray. You know, let me see if I can find it.
Hope nobody lives in Nova Scotia.
Why is that?
Hurricane Lee is probably going into Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Of course, it'd only probably be like a Cat 1 by the time it gets up there, so.
Well, Jovo or whatever the
Yeah.
name is here, it's leaving us now. We've been humid as can be, cloud cover.
Well, where does David lives on an island? Which island is it, Nova Scotia?
Who?
He's changed his name.
Bill. He lives in Newfoundland.
Bill,
Bill,
Dave.
Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Bill, David, close enough.
Yeah, that's up in, it'll be up in that area.
Yeah, he's up in Newfoundland there. He's on the east or west side of Newfoundland.
Why do I keep calling him David? I don't know.
Not
Bill.
close enough.
Anyways, Hurricane Lee's
Bill
going up into
David.
that area. And
It's
despite
no
all the
much rain
clickbait
fire.
guys that were saying it's going to New York City. But hey,
That would be a good thing. Can it
I don't know how many news
can it hit
agencies were
DC
talking.
though first?
I don't know how many news. There were several news organizations that were like, "Oh, it's coming." Oh, come on! You got each of those three major models has like 10 to 15 models in each side in each of them, and because one of those had a stray line that went over towards New York. Oh, it's not. It's not coming anywhere near that damn your place. Why the hell are you guys creating clickbait and getting people worked up over what is obviously wrong?
Oh, Rod, the name of it is What is Going On with Shipping? If you ever get a chance, check it
It
out.
sounds like an interesting channel.
Yeah, it is. And it covers everything because he was talking about these LSCs, how because of the aluminum hull, they got damaged going through the Panama Canal and they had to go back to the shipyard in order to be repaired because they bumped up against it and being aluminum hulled, it couldn't take the beating.
They're not meant to. It's supposed to be small, lightweight, coastal defense kind of ships.
What for those, the LSCs?
Yeah, come on, tell me that they're the reality is they're one step above a Coast Guard cutter,
Yeah.
essentially.
But
Yeah.
but they wanted it to patrol for submarines and mines. And the mine package is still under development. They don't even have it on board one of the vessels yet.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the problem that I'm saying. It's like, if you're going to design a ship, this is just me, okay? I come from a common sense background. I come from construction and how are you going to make something work and what are you going to do? If you're going to build these two ships, they ended up building 4 of them and they were going to decide on one, but they ended up building 2 of them anyways. What the ship is supposed to do, don't you think that you would put that package in your design first and then continue building your ship around and your design of what you're going to do?
Well, I'm thinking that it's descendants of the original erector set people that are building these ships.
Yeah.
No, the Navy's trying to build a
Don't start bashing
singular.
erector sets.
They're trying to build a singular. They were trying to build a singular platform that they could change the modules out for different mission packages.
Right.
And you know what? Sometimes, you know what the reality is, Steve, that they obviously are not paying very fucking much attention to is KISS. You know, keep it simple, stupid. Maybe have a ship that's really good at the one thing and just have those. And have another ship that's good at that thing and not try to do it all in one
Well,
thing.
it's like them trying to keep replacing the A10, right? Like that's plain, it's proven
That's
itself
a keep
time
it
and time
simple.
again.
That's a keep it simple, stupid.
Right.
It's a
It's
flying gun
Yep.
Right,
that can
and they
take a
keep,
beating. That's all you need.
and they
Oh.
wanted to replace that with the F-35. I was like, nah.
Hey, Pollywog,
Yes, sir.
bye.
You going
See you
to
later.
coffee?
Yeah, I'm going for coffee, so.
Okay. All right, Paul. We'll
Take
see you in
care,
the
Paul.
morning.
Yeah, you know what the funny part about that is, Justin? You know what the tank buster is now? It's a $500 drone.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's what
Not a
Ukraine-
50 not a
Ukraine has
$100
proven
million
that, hasn't it?
Not $100 million F-35.
Yeah, but
it's
a
a
drone ain't-
$500 FPV drone.
Yeah, but a drone ain't gonna take a bunch of bullets to it without it knocked out of the air, though.
It's so damn small, you can't hit the thing anyways. So, yeah. And by the way, you're going to put it in the hands of the frontline troops. It's only got to go 1,000,
They
2,000
said the
meters.
F-30, yeah, but when they said the F-35 was a replacement, I see it being a replacement for the F-16, the FA-18, it makes sense. But not the A-10, that's a whole different low-level intensity where you're going up and down and all over. That's just not something the F-35 I think is good for. I mean, the
You don't really
A-10
want to
is
use a
perfect
$100
for
million
that.
airplane for that.
No, like I said, I can see it replacing the F-16 and FA-18 and even the Harriers because the
Better
Harriers
a
are
$5
really
or $10 million A10 than a
But-
$100 million F-35.
All right, we'll see you later, Laura.
Mr. JRC,
Yeah.
you can look up the ship and it'll tell you how much fuel capacity it has and everything else and the weight.
Jackie
And
says,
just figure
how-
out marine
how they-
fuel isn't cheap either.
yeah, how they pay for their fuel. I said 1 liter at a time.
Pretty much.
And that's what people don't understand. You know, we've got the naval fleet. The only thing that's nuclear are the submarines and the carriers. Everything
Mhm.
else runs on
Diesel.
good old biodegradable dinosaurs.
Too
Yeah.
expensive to build the reactors.
Well,
Too
that's
expensive
why,
to maintain them.
that's why all these other countries' aircraft carriers are kind of, well, a lot of them are jump ramp carriers, which just limit your capability to begin with, but like England's, pretty much France, I think, is the only other one that has nuclear power. Everybody else is all diesel. So
Yeah.
they only have about what, a 9,000, was it 9,000 kilometer range on average usually? Like the Russian ships, the Chinese ships, those are all diesel.
Yeah.
Huh.
And
Well, at what point in the future do you think that these combat ships, some of them will be completely automated? No,
they're talk-
nobody
they're
on
talking,
board.
they're talking
Very
about that.
soon.
Dro-
Very soon.
drone ships. They're actually
Drone
tested
ships.
some out here.
Yeah.
Or these hovercrafts that we have, the port here, it's right here at Camp Pendleton.
Yeah,
What is it? LT? No, I can't think of the name of it now, the acronym for it. But it's those, floating vessels that come in and landing craft that they have.
yeah.
They were supposedly testing some completely automated, drone.
I'm trying to remember, what was the
drones.
name of that one that they built that they sail around the world? Or halfway around the world.
I mean, you
built
could
that one. They built that one that was completely crewless.
I mean, you could literally have, autonomous boats that are the size of a speedboat that's loaded down with munitions that could just follow the fleet around and they could just go out when something's a threat and just woo, 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 all over the place. I mean, it
Well, if
wouldn't
they
be
were
hard.
designed properly,
Hello, that's what the
Attach a
Gen
C-Wiz
6
on one of those.
Yeah, that's what the Gen 6 fighter aircraft is for the Air Force. The drones that are coming with it are designed specifically
Right,
for that.
That's what I said. You get some speedboat size autonomous boats, attach a C-Wiz and maybe a missile launcher onto them.
By the
And-
way, you know what's helping with the hurricane forecast this year? That's new this year. They get those drone boats out there in the ocean collecting.
They're probably
That they're-
designed where they can't flip over. or they just roll. They flip.
Yeah, but they're out there
Yeah.
collecting. They've built them and they're out there collecting data.
Yeah, plus they've got
And they can move
the,
them around and they can
the
move
mo-
them around in front
yeah,
of the storms.
the movable buoys that are all over the place that just float with the current.
That's why I said I wanted to get one of those big lifeboats you see on like the ships like Paul films and stuff, the big orange lifeboats that
Yeah.
like 30 people can go on. I'd love to take one of those and transfer it into like a nice little 1-bedroom apartment. Because those things are designed that they won't roll over. Like if they roll over, they'll roll themselves back over.
Self-righting.
Self-riding, yeah.
So I mean that technically that's a ocean going vessel to a certain extent.
If I was gonna have that, I'd want the Coast Guard cutter, self-righting vessels that they have running up in the Oregon coast all the time. To where when, cause you got that shallow shelf that's in there and the waves are just coming up the Columbia River Gorge. And you got the wind, I mean, those waves just come in. They purposely take them out there and straight into to these waves, and they get
Oh,
flipped
yeah,
over
yeah,
and they'll
yeah,
just
yeah.
roll over. And when you're standing there as a navigator and the pilot, you're strapped into a frame standing
Chair.
up.
Yeah.
So if it
Yeah.
rolls, you just you ride it back up again.
That's the way they design it, so it's possible for it to roll over. It'll just
I would
keep
imagine the
rolling
first
itself
time it
back over.
happens, it might be like vertigo, huh?
To me, it'd be called a big spot of brown in my pants.
Oh, I'm sure the first couple of times is probably trippy, but those guys do it enough, they probably don't even know nothing anymore. They do it all the time.
Well, if they have a problem with it, they're not on that boat.
What's up,
Hmm.
Daryl?
They
Well,
assign
if you have
somewhere
vertigo,
else.
if you got
Yeah.
vertigo, you better not go in the Coast Guard or Navy unless you're gonna be stationed on
Or Air
land.
Force as a
Yeah.
pilot.
I have met a couple of Navy guys over the years though that never saw shit. They just happened to never get stationed. They always had some land position where they were on land. They never were actually on a ship in their careers.
My dad was stationed on a minesweeper. It was in Great Lakes. Want to guess what it was made of, Steve?
What's that?
Wood.
Sarah's dad was.
Well, yeah, they would be
Vietnam.
They're non-magnetic. What better
Non-magnetic,
way?
yeah.
What better way to have a minesweeper? Yeah. So why do we need this big honking thing? Build some nice wooden little ships to go around to put the little radars on them to find the damn mines and be happy. You get 5-6 sailors on the thing and you get a nice little minesweeper. Why do you need this $400 million monstrosity?
They actually have a group of dolphins stationed in Hawaii that do that. And each handler is a Navy officer,
Mm.
and they train them to do different things like that, to go into minefields and stuff like that.
But yes, the
don't
Navy
know.
had wooden minesweepers. You have to remember, this is the 1950s.
Mm.
They
Well,
still had
back-
them.
Yeah, back then, aircraft carriers and a lot of boats had wooden decks still too. You know,
The steel
hull
deck, the
was-
steel deck came in at the end. The USS Midway was the first one with an all steel deck of
Yeah,
aircraft carriers.
like the original aircraft carriers from World War II. Yeah, they were all wooden decks.
Yeah, you know what the beauty of that was? You could fix them pretty easy.
There you go.
Holy crap.
Yeah, those ships. Yeah, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
That looks fun.
Yeah, they're something.
This proves my point.
Ah!
This proves my point, Steve. Something that size to go hunt mines.
Yep.
That's all you need. That's all you need. You don't need a $400 million freaking boat to go.
It's you know what that's called? Remember the old PT boats?
Yeah, exactly. Those were made out of wood too.
Yeah. We can make them out of fiberglass.
Yeah, you could. That's probably what this is made out of. It's probably
Yeah,
fiberglass.
they are.
So, hello, who needs a $400 million piece of aluminum when you can build a nice little small thing like this that, well, it could even right itself? How hard would it be to put the radars on a little boat like that?
Whoop! That's what happens when you don't have a self-riding boat.
Yes.
But I
well,
mean, you look at that and
Okay,
tell me why you couldn't just use something like that as your minesweepers.
Leaving,
Bye-bye.
Dominic?
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
All right, I'll see you later.
You could
man.
build how many of those? You could build how many of those for the $400+ million that they built those other things for?
Oh,
How
I
many of
know.
those little ones you could? Hello, I think you could take care of minesweeping pretty easy.
Yeah, that's the days of the going back to PT 109.
Mm-hmm. Back
And the-
to the
and-
keep it simple, stupid guys.
Yeah. And John Wayne's old boat, that's what that was this is a PT boat that he converted to his yacht.
And the less complex it is, the easier it is for the troops to maintain them.
Yeah, keep all the computer and electronics off board,
Hey.
except for what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, he's finally here. Wow, yeah. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, thanks for nothing. Thanks for nothing. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh, I remember that. I watched that live.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. And fuck you, Joe Biden. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I was laughing when I watched that today. I was like, oh my God, that was the first time I seen that.
Oh, I was laughing my ass off watching it live.
He said, oh, he's coming. You like, he's gonna, like, you for a second, you think he's just gonna, praise that he's there. Nope. That crowd turned on him
There's so
quick.
much stuff around there that happened before, 2 months before this fire ever occurred. It's like you put on your tinfoil hat.
Well, it's like when he gave them all $700. What the hell are they gonna do with $700?
I think the best
Right.
one is what they gave just this last time around, just to give into the Ukraine. It would have been $140,000 per resident. Now that would have been something that they could have rebuilt a home with, and got their life back on track. But right now they are so turned upside down, and the amount of hazardous material there is unbelievable.
Oh, Tim's coming in.
Whoa, Mr. Slick.
Hey,
Yep.
there he is.
Can't brush his damn hair for my show, but he can for work. Asshole.
How you doing?
Did you just get home from work?
No,
No,
just getting ready for work.
Getting ready to go. Okay, all right. All right.
Yeah, it's 8:30 in the morning there,
Late start.
unless he worked overnight.
Hey, I don't work nights.
What
no.
time is it there?
8:30 in the
8:30.
morning.
8:30 a.m.
You just gotta add 2 hours to whatever time it is on the East Coast, and then it's
Oh,
either
okay.
day. If it's our day, it's their night. If it's our night, it's their day.
That's right.
And they're that's how I remember. It's easy when you remember it that way.
Add,
And they're always-
add 2 hours to East Coast time.
Yep.
Or in my case, add 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5. Yeah.
Actually,
Well, even when I lived on the West Coast, I always went by East Coast time because it was the latest time in the whole country.
Yeah.
so
You know what?
Justin found himself late all the time because he was going by East Coast time.
No, I'm saying
Hmm.
like even when I tell people what time is your show, tell everybody in East Coast time because it makes it easier for everybody to.
Oh, well, yeah, you got to preface it and tell him East Coast time. But if you don't, it's like you wouldn't say to Steve, yeah, just tune in at 5. What?
Right. I'd say 5
My
Eastern.
time, your time, whose time?
That's
Yeah.
it.
UT?
I don't go by
Utah,
Central.
Yep.
I don't go by Central or Mountain.
Mark,
Yeah, I'm
what
gonna
time
be
is
on.
it over there in Greenwich right now?
And then when they do their daylight saving, then they're only an hour apart, I think, for a little while, right? And
I
then-
don't have daylight savings in Queensland.
Yeah, but it does change because remember Matt starts his show at 7. Because we change, you
changed
guys
that.
don't. No,
He
we
changed.
change.
Yeah, y'all. do.
Yeah, because we change and it only puts us an hour, your guys an hour ahead of us instead of 2
Yeah.
hours. Because
Yeah.
Matt will end up going on at 7 PM at 8 PM Eastern.
Well, Tim,
that-
how's the big move plan going?
I still gotta get a hold of the government.
Oh, you
What,
gotta get your, you don't need a passport. You're an American citizen.
Yeah, he does. He still has to go through customs. So
I
see,
don't think he needs
as
that.
an American citizen, we have to have paperwork. Anybody else can just walk the fuck in.
No,
we get-
technically, they're
Tell
supposed to
Tell you
have
what,
the
tell you what,
I-94s.
I'll let you know the flight schedule landing in Tijuana, Tim,
Yeah,
and then you
just
can just walk across, you
Walk
know, when
I
you're
can just
ready.
walk right across. I'll be at Chris's backyard.
And
Oh.
then you say, I'm turning myself in. Listen, you get a phone, they'll tag you, you'll get $1,700 a month.
Oh, goddamn.
Tim, it'll be like Frank coming across the border. Remember
Mhm.
that? in Shameless.
Fucking hell. Yes.
He
No, I
wakes up
gotta-
Drew.
I'm gonna use my my superannuation to come back.
Guys,
I
I'm
gotta
gonna take
bail.
off, guys.
Okay,
See y'all
Rod,
later.
thanks for coming
Hey,
in,
Take
buddy.
care, Rod. Good to see you.
So,
Hi, Mark.
do you have any timetable or estimated of when you're gonna?
As soon as I get the superannuation out, I'm gonna tell them I've been here 20 years. I'm taking it all out. That's about 65K. But right when I go home, it's gonna exchange to about 38K. So I gotta take a hell of a loss, but I work
Just
for it.
because the
I'm not
difference in
coming
the
back.
money?
Yeah, exchange rate. I'm not coming back, so. And I gotta
You're
sell
what?
everything. Huh?
You're leaving?
he's moving here.
Australia?
He's moving.
He's thinking about it.
Yeah, thinking about it.
Oh,
If
I
can
didn't hear
get it,
anything. I didn't hear anything about that.
If I can get my superannuation out with, I'm not coming back to Australia, so. They would not want to pay me, for retirement, so. I can come back. I'm a permanent resident.
Now,
but
if you do retirement, can you pull it all out at once or do you have to, is it just like the US, you're just gonna get like social security? Is that what your retirement you're talking about?
Can take it all out.
Take
at
it
once.
all out.
Or are you talking
But
about social security style retirement or
We don't have
401k
social
retirement?
security. We don't have.
They don't have
Social
social
Security.
security.
Okay.
It's called
It's
superannuation.
it's equivalent to it.
Mhm.
I think that's
But-
what Justin was
But
trying
I think
to
it's
do.
much more liquid.
Well, there's two differences with 401k and social security. That's what I'm saying. What is it more like? Because social security, you can only get a monthly check.
Yeah.
It's
You can't
more
just be like,
four-
I want 100 grand and leave, you know?
It's more like 401k because you can divide it, split it, you can put it
Right.
to,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could pull it all out if you wanted, but you probably have to pay some big fine.
Well,
fee
and
or
besides
something.
that, if why would he split it up if he's never going back, you know?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you pull
No,
out
you
like a
do that.
401k. Oh, go ahead.
you do that when you start your superannuation. You have this paperwork, you can split it and take it for, the volatile way, If you lose it, you lose it. If you take, it's just like a stock. So that's what I did with my superannuation 20 years ago. I put it on the volatile and, so.
What's up, Chuck?
Did you file for that already, Tim, or no?
No, I haven't filed. I got to call superannuation or put a claim in.
Yeah, because
through-
like my sister, when she was in Germany, she's collecting from there now in the opera houses because you had the union and you had the protection there. And one of the things she did, even though she came back, she just paid the monthly union fees of
Oh, yeah.
going in because
Yeah.
that kept it going. And now it's not a lot, but it's in the neighborhood of about $800, $900 a month that she
Mm.
gets automatically transferred. she doesn't have it coming here. She has it going to her bank in Germany.
Yeah,
She
so
has
she can transfer
an
that
account
anytime.
there because she has a permanent, what do you call it? Permanent residency
That's what I got.
for Germany.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
what I got for
citizenship. but-
Australia. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I got
not-
for Australia.
Yeah, not citizenship, but it's residency.
Residency. So her residency is a friend of hers there.
Here comes
She
Mr.
she
Chuck.
uses their house.
Yeah,
Okay.
And he's also the head of banks for this whole entire, I don't know, section of Germany. He's the president, so he takes care
Yeah.
of all our finances for their.
well, once I get that taken out, I'll take apart the computer and everything I want to send over. Send it to Lynn's, take the laptop, carry on, Mini 2 carry on.
I could just see Tim coming through customs with the motherboard shoved in his pants. I ain't got
I can
nothing.
put the motherboard as a carry on. I can put it in my suitcase. All the hard
Yeah, but
drives.
if it goes through the metal detector, or not the metal detector, but the X-ray machine, isn't it gonna fry stuff on it?
No,
Not
but
strong
I
enough.
don't think they'll let you take a raw board through.
Well,
You
I'll
better,
put it in
you better check for protocol because you can't take a board from the United States going into other countries. I know.
no, what I'm thinking about taking is the 2060 Super GPU, the M.2 and all
The
that. shit, but
case
not
I
the
wouldn't worry
motherboard,
about, cause
Not the
those are
Ryzen,
cheap.
not the Ryzen 7, because I can rebuild this computer back home for about $1,000.
Yeah.
So
Well, in all reality, if you take all the components, the case is nothing, dude. You can get a nice case for like $120, $100.
and my laptop is going to carry on. So everything will still be on the laptop and on the M.2.
So where are you thinking of moving to?
Tennessee.
That's where Lynn lives.
Tennessee.
That's where Lynn
Oh,
lives. Is that ex-wife?
I'll be living with her for a while.
Slash
okay.
best friend. Don't get it twisted, Tim. You know Lynn's your best
Huh?
friend. I said, you
What?
know Lynn's your best friend.
Yeah, she is.
I said, don't get it twisted.
Been my best friend since I was 15.
Yeah, cause I got that Corsair case for freaking what, $80 on the Black Friday. And it was only 120 on normal price, so I got like $40 off on it.
Yeah, cost of stuff here is a lot cheaper.
Well, cases in general just are cheap. I mean, they're,
No, but I mean,
nothing.
Australian prices, I mean,
oh,
like
yeah.
you're saying you'd be there, it'd be another 50% on top of that price over there.
And
Oh,
depends
yeah.
what they take off the 65 when I take it out. Because I'm
And
taking it out.
you'd be paying VAT tax on it.
Mm-hmm.
And did you decide you're gonna sell most of your stuff and then rebuy it once you get here, or are you gonna ship it?
Yeah, I'm selling everything.
Me and Tim talked about that a bunch too. It's just what he has, like his printers, his TV, it's not worth shipping because he'd pay 3 times more to ship that shit than he would to sell it and rebuy it when he gets here.
Right.
mean, it
Yeah,
would-
because even if you put everything in a container, that's not cheap to ship either.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
worth it.
shipping,
I mean,
shipping
these
costs,
things-
shipping
printers, I
costs
can get 'em.
are triple of what they were.
The printers I can get for like 150 over there. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I can redo my printers, rebuild a PC, even build one for Lynn. I'll have my laptop, so I have everything conversion on that. Like, you know what I mean? It's up in the cloud. So
I mean,
Mhm.
worst case, you ship a few boxes and spend a few $100 shipping a few boxes of personal stuff.
I'm gonna lose
everything
so
else.
much I'm gonna lose so much taking the super out. I'm not gonna I'm selling everything. I'm losing almost 20 grand taking the super out. So
Yeah, cause
And
you
I'll-
probably spend 10 grand easy on a shipping container.
yep.
Well, it depends
Yeah,
on
we
what it
do.
is, because you can get partial. In other words, you box it up and you're paying for a partial stuff and you go through a freight company.
Whatever I can take carry on is what's coming with me. That's it.
I know for my sister, she shipped mainly was all her records and her books and that stuff. The rest of it, she just got rid of there. She didn't bring anything like that. It was all her personal stuff. So she ended up going through a shipper. It took about a month to get here because it wasn't a big rush, but it was like, but it was a long time ago. I think it was like $400 and some odd to ship everything back over here.
Yeah.
But that was 20 years ago though, too. It's hard to believe it's been that long.
The thing that I gotta commit to is I'm starting all over again. You know what I mean? I gotta transfer my license, Aussie license, but I can keep my Aussie license actually and still drive in America. But once
I
that,
mean, getting your
once
license
that-
ain't nothing.
Yeah, but Tim, you got to figure you did it once, you can do it again.
yeah, once.
Hey,
guys
tell
read
you
my
what, Christina, the governor of South Dakota, you can bring any of your certifications and US certifications. I don't see why they couldn't accept your certifications and go
Yeah.
right to work immediately. And
Yeah.
there's no state tax.
Yep, I'm gonna talk to a traffic control company in Tennessee and show them all my documents. But once my license expires, I'll just get it transferred to America, or I
Yeah,
can just keep
but
the Australian license and keep on driving, so it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
you know as well as I do, everything's different here versus over there.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, it's not hard. For you to get your license again, you're talking about just a, 20 question test and you're done. I mean,
yeah,
the only ones that usually have to take maybe a driver's test, but shit, you'd be able to do that.
yeah. Oh,
I
the
don't
Starlink
think
is
you have to
getting-
take a driver's test.
The Starlink
Because
is
you
getting-
had a US driver's license at one time, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was been driving on the wrong side of the road for so long, they're gonna make him take the written test.
Oh, yeah, he'll have to definitely take the short.
oh,
written
it's gonna be fun, I'm telling you. But yeah, Mark, I'm shipping the Starlink over. Probably have to get a new router, but I'll just get an international plug. Bob's your uncle.
I could already see Tim. What the hell's miles per hour?
Yeah, Chuck, I want to move to Iceland. Yeah. You know, it's
I'm going
ironic.
to
I have a
slow.
friend of mine here, Chuck, that I've been trying to get a hold of him for the past few days. He finally texted me back. I'm in Ireland. They landed on Saturday in Ireland. Iceland, not Ireland, Iceland.
Iceland.
My oldest son is in Alaska right now.
Whereabouts?
Don't know. He didn't tell me to see. He sent me pictures of it, but
Is he in the service, Tim?
no,
Okay.
I wish he was.
Probably went up
Right.
there like everybody else, saw Deadliest Catch and thought he could make $100,000 a year in like, or in like 2 months. Yeah, how many people dude, I actually there was 3 guys that I worked with at Walmart who actually left because of that show and went all the way up to Alaska to go crabbing
It's not that easy.
because they thought they were gonna make all this money.
Not
3
that
different
easy.
people I worked with left to go do that.
JD.
Yeah, right.
How are you, sir?
Yeah. And Mark, you're getting used to Imperial and yeah, it's going to be different.
Oh, it'll come back to you.
What's going to change is the weather. I won't be used to that.
They
I
had a
haven't
map.
seen snow in 20 years. And
Hot, humid in the summer, cooler. Well, you know, everything's in perspective the same, but mainly the mugginess. One of the things for us here in Southern California is this humidity over the weekend. It's like, I rarely turn the air conditioning on, but when I walk in the house and it's 82 degrees and it's got this, high humidity because of this hurricane that's been between here and Hawaii, it's pushed the clouds in. Surf's up though. We're having 8 to 12 foot sets
oh,
coming
shit.
through.
Really? God damn. Well, I know right when I get home, I'll probably go to sleep for 2 days because of jet lag.
Bro,
Like
you're
I told
beyond
you about.
jet lag. You're on a whole, 1, you're going back in time a day. And 2, when it's nighttime here, it's gonna feel like daytime.
No,
to you.
he'll be the same day for him.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You're
I'll
going to be
leaving-
sleeping on
Same
the plane and you'll just wake up in a different time zone, but you won't have had nighttime.
Oh, that international flight, I am getting wasted. I'm gonna go right to sleep. Screw that. And if I ever want to go back to Australia, I'd just go to Florida for a day. It's the
Long
same.
swim.
Yeah, Florida.
Yeah,
is
Justin
much
says
the
you
same
can
climate.
come down to Florida anytime you want.
No,
Well,
we're not big
yeah,
on
but-
illegals down here.
Illegals.
Florida don't
Uh,
like immigrants.
I'll come and meet Justin. We'll go out fishing. Get his ass out fishing.
Yeah, I'll teach you how to catch something.
Hey, shut up.
That rod still has it.
Chuck, did you see what Chuck wrote?
What's that?
The toilet
Yeah.
flushes in the opposite direction.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
that's gonna be the biggest thing that throws Tim off when he gets back. Now, what in the hell? Why's
The
my piss
This
going that
thing
way?
is like leaving here and arriving in the same day. That's
Yeah.
gonna be pretty.
I'll never forget my dad when they got back. He took my sister, my mom, and they went down to Australia, and then they were on a cruise ship that was between Australia and New Zealand.
Mhm.
And they had time in Australia there. And the stewardess was on board because they took off on the day before Valentine's Day. So they missed Valentine's Day and you're landing on the 15th. Well, your wife and your daughter got shortchanged. And my dad just turned around and go, what the hell do you think this costs in order to get them there?
Hey, that's kind of ironic. I arrived in Australia February 14th, 2003.
Really?
Yep.
What year?
2003.
2003.
I'm trying to think if that's when my folks went.
I'm gonna get you one of these machines, okay? Just watch.
Many questions?
Yeah, do the toilets go backwards in here?
No. To combat homesickness, we've installed a device that makes them swirl the correct American way. Sweet land of liberty.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Oh my God. Fuck it.
Oh,
That was-
Mark. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
You can always go fishing with Mark.
Oh, did you hear what he did?
That's
He
not-
freaking hooked his damn eyelid.
Yeah, catch his eye. Yeah.
I didn't
Okay.
hear that.
Yeah, he went right through his damn eyelid. And he had to go to the emergency room.
Had a
And
picture of it and the hook is through his eyelid.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So it went in this way. So the hook, I mean, it's lucky he didn't hit his eye.
Yeah, he scratched the shit out of his eye, you know?
he's damn
Very lucky.
lucky.
And that's when I wrote him back. I go, Art, if you're outside, you should be wearing sunglasses. You can
That's
tie a
right,
hook
you
with
should have-
sunglasses on.
Protective eyewear.
That's insane.
Yeah, here you go. Hold on. I forget how to share it on Zoom.
I didn't realize I already done that. Oh, wow.
You see it right there?
Looks like he has an eye piercing.
Yeah, it's like,
A
like mine.
little low though. It should be up in his eyebrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh, if
Yeah,
I'd have
like-
hooked my eyebrow, I'd have went ahead and just threw a ring through
Well,
it.
it's a
Yeah.
good thing it was a small hook, not a big one.
Yeah, right.
Well, he goes after carp.
I mean, everybody
Yeah.
will do that fishing though. You'll catch yourself. You might catch your leg or something every once in a while, or your finger or your hand. It'll happen eventually.
Oh, so it didn't go through his eyelid, it just impaled itself on the outside.
No, it went through his eyelid, completely through it.
Right.
But he had his eye open, so you couldn't see it because his skin was over top of it.
Because Marco's saying it actually was lucky it didn't go all the way through.
If it went through, you just clip the top and pull it out.
No,
Yeah.
he showed it up close on, I think it was on Bill's or his show, and you could see the hole in his eyelid.
Yeah.
It was right in the middle. He went like that and you could see it. And there was like
Lucky
a
he didn't.
red dot.
It wasn't his actual eye. It would be
Yeah.
blind.
Oh,
Yeah,
he either would have
yeah.
been blind or partially blind for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And he probably would have had to have eye surgery and everything else. Yeah, that would have been a big old ordeal. That wouldn't have been no 2-hour trip to the emergency room for sure.
Nah. They got me starting at 10:30 a.m. today, so I'll be home by 2. But then I gotta work at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Screwed up.
So 2 o'clock your time is what time here?
Midnight.
Midnight?
Yeah. Midnight. Well, I might be home before then. Never know. Don't know.
What's with these like late days and getting off early? Are the job sites that tiny?
Well, it's the same one that I was working on. You know, he picks me every time they do a concrete pour.
Why are they coming in so late though? Like most contractors, you know, they're bright up and early at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning.
If it's a late pour, that means that they're doing block fill. Concrete block
Oh,
fill.
they have to do it because of the time of day or what?
Yeah,
Okay.
but if I could start at
makes
6
sense.
a.m., that means they got the big ass concrete.
In other words, they want to stay out of the other contractor's way. Is that what it is?
Well, no, you gotta, like for today's pour, they probably had to order it Friday. You know what I mean? Like the Agi truck. Concrete truck.
Oh, it's a scheduling thing.
Right. So there's windows. But today's supposed to be windy, so it should be fun for the concrete truck or the pump. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Okay, Mark. So it went through, but not in. I'd have just pulled that shit out then.
Right.
I grabbed my eyelid, pulled it out flat and
Yeah, just rip it. It might
put
have
some,
bled for a little bit, but hey, what the hell?
put some alcohol on it, you're good to go.
You wouldn't have to pay the hospital fees.
Cause I guarantee they might have gave him a tetanus shot. Maybe.
Oh, they
Yeah.
would.
They'll
They
give
would.
him a
That about
tetanus shot.
That'd have been about the only thing you would have to get from the hospital.
That's the one thing too. I gotta transfer all my records back in. So my blood pressure, the cholesterol pills. It's gonna be hell. For like a week, I'm gonna be transferring shit. when I get
Yeah,
home.
they had to give him a tetanus shot for sure.
I
And
don't
maybe,
even know.
and maybe a couple of drops of antibiotics in his eye, just in case.
I don't even know. Can you transfer medication from one country to another?
It's medical records. You just transfer.
Oh,
the
just
medical
your records. Okay, you wanna transfer. Okay.
It'll
okay.
tell them what prescription I'm on, so I can get it over there when I get home. So I gotta transfer everything, then find a doctor. I'll probably use Lynn's.
Well, that's not hard to do. Plenty of places to go find a doctor.
Yeah. Well, I know the airport. I know everything. Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
Jeff.
look, did you
Oh.
reboot?
Switch computers. Besides, I didn't like my name on the other one.
What was it?
Mm,
Up, Chuck. Up, Chuck.
something stupid. Got to consider
Oh,
the
Chuck.
source though.
Justin is having fun.
He got photobombed by his kid a couple of times.
Oh, yeah. Did you know that Art got a fishing hook in his eyelid?
Yep.
I didn't know that. That surprises the hell out of me.
I think he did it for views.
Wouldn't surprise. These days, that would not surprise me.
He shouldn't. I think he did. No, I don't know.
That's kind of hurtful for views, but
People will go to great extents to get views, I think.
well, look at Jackass.
Hmm.
Yeah, but they actually made millions from that.
Yeah, they made money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they made shitloads of that.
It's
Too
one
late
thing
now.
Well, it's one thing
Yeah.
to make millions or get an extra 5 views on a 60 view video. We're putting a hook through your eye.
That's kind of sucky. Yeah, he is really lucky though. You know, you guys are talking about it, but he's super lucky because that could have
Oh,
ended
yeah.
really badly.
In his eye, actual eye. That could.
Yeah. Yeah. Or he could have like when he looked up, he could have like caught the hook with his cornea.
Yeah.
It just would have been bad. So he's lucky.
Yeah,
He's
no
lucky.
kidding.
Mm-hmm. Because what do you do when you feel that? You probably look up and like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Somebody
Yeah, a
was
little
looking out
lower
for
than what
him.
Tim has. It's a little lower than what Tim has going on.
called Wear Your Sunglasses.
A lot of planning. It's gonna be a lot of planning.
I don't know. Sometimes I wear my sunglasses, sometimes I don't. Like I've been told when you wear sunglasses in the UK, it makes you look like an American. Because I guess they don't like sunglasses over there.
Well, I have when all my eyes were working properly, I had 125% of my day vision as night vision. So my eyes are very sensitive to light. In fact, when in the Air Force, when you're on flight status, you have to have your sunglasses on. You get caught without having your sunglasses on, you're written up.
Wow.
And I remember on our first flight training class, they take you in this big theater and they turn all the lights down and they have all the stuff up on screens and it's very low visibility. It's just pitch black in there. And then they would start generating an image up there. And as your lights would go, your eyes would adjust. Well, the average time for a person was right around 17 to 20 minutes. At 6 minutes, I was reading the numbers off the deck of the aircraft carrier that they had up there.
Wow, you're like the Bionic Man.
And well, the guy, the captain that was there, and he goes, "You've been in this class before."
Thought you were cheating. Same
Steve,
chart.
Steve is a human night vision guy.
Yeah, nice.
He starts flipping slides, and I'm just nailing it. And he goes, "Tell you what, I don't want to hear a single answer out of you again. And let the rest of the class get adjusted."
Nice. Nice.
Justin's
Oh,
getting moved on by his kids.
yep. Yep. I don't know where the weekend went, but it went gone.
Wait,
His son was over there going like that, and going like that.
Oh, because them two were talking to each other. She's sitting over here next to me.
Yeah, you're getting photobombed
other
again.
chair.
Yep.
Well, I have a second computer chair next to me, and the one out of the kids' room.
Were you in Alaska or something? I see pine trees. I see northern lights.
That's actually Zoom's
Mark White
background.
had to have
Yeah,
stitches in his eyeball.
that's scary, Mark.
Yep.
You're
That blows.
Yeah, that's what I've got, Mark. One retina detachment on this side, this one's back. This one, 2 retina detaches, 2 cataracts in both of them. And this one has got silicone holding on the back. So
Holy
I
cow.
think
Wow, you're glued together?
technically I'm legally blind.
He's
in
the
that.
modern Bionic Man.
He is. He's Steve Austin.
Well, on this side, if I shut this, I'm looking at the screen right now. It's like I'm looking through 2 sheets of tissue paper at a screen. That's what it looks like.
Christ, wow, man.
Oh, there goes Top Gun over there, Tim Jackson.
Top Gun. Top Gun.
They're prescriptions.
Oh, are they?
Oh,
Prescription sunglasses are
They're
pricey.
nice.
They were about $280.
They fit you well.
I'll get a pair of Ray-Bans or a pair of
No,
frickin' prescription sunglasses. They're
I like my
pricey.
Ray-Ban stories. They're cool.
Yeah,
I
go
had
get a
Ray-Bans.
pair of lenses put in those.
You can't. Well, I mean, my OG Ray-Bans from the 80s, they're like legit. You can pop the glass out. I had prescription lenses and those I switched them back.
Yeah.
Like actually COVID, I recovered them from my parents' house because I was like, Mom, do you still have my sunglasses? She's like, yeah, they're over here in the case still. I went over and there they were, my original Ray-Ban Wayfarers with the green glass lenses, and grabbed them up. I went to the eye doctor with them, and I popped the lenses out, and they're like, wow, these are like the original ones. These are the good ones.
Mhm.
She could tell by the glass in them that they were like the original ones.
Yeah.
I had the Ray-Ban fishing sunglasses.
Yeah.
The best class I've ever had in glasses, which I'm going to go back in and bite the bullet to get them, is Maui Jim prescription lenses.
That's what Lori likes. She has 2 pair of Maui gyms. That's what she
Oh,
wears in all
I
her
lo-
vlogs. She has 2 pair.
I'll
That's
tell you, I
her
know.
chosen glass. She'd love them to sponsor us.
That's my dad had 2 pairs. He had a titanium pair back in the day.
Mhm.
And he had a 24 karat plated pair.
Yeah. Lori's very
And he
fond of
spent
her
a
Maui
lot of
gyms.
money on those. They were just sunglasses, but he spent a lot of money on them. They
A
were
lot of money.
expensive.
I think Lori bought her first pair in Maui, which doesn't mean anything because obviously they're made overseas, but still kind of cool.
But Maui's a part of the United States. It's not overseas. Is it?
But the glasses are probably manufactured in some straw hut somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
to be putting a label onto those people, but
Like
yeah.
our
No,
drones.
like Ray-Bans, you know. Sarah ordered me a pair about 1.5 years, 2 years ago off of
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah.
And they were like $300, but then I was like looking at them and they were kind of like just all plasticky. And I was like, dude, I just don't feel like these are worth the money.
The ones
And
I
ended
have,
up sending them back.
yeah, the Ray-Bans I have, the legit ones from the 80s. They're heavy. They're they stamped in them, made in USA. They're badass. I don't even want to wear them anymore. I had those on the day my truck got flipped over, and that was the first thing I was trying to recover were my sunglasses. It's like I don't want to lose my sunglasses. Got them back.
I wear my sunglasses at night.
Thank you, Corey.
I wear my sunglasses.
Yeah, Corey Hart. He had a very cool haircut. He had that kinda like
Amazon.
spiky jelly hair going.
Amazon's got the Foster Grants. They're about $30. And these are actually really nice. I had 2 pairs, but I lost one when I was working.
Mhm.
I had a silver pair too, but
Do they
these are
stretch
really
out?
nice. Or no, those aren't. Hold on. Hold on a sec. That's not the pair I'm talking about.
Whoa, he got his
Those are the
dad
ones I got.
bod going.
Those were the ones I got at
can-
Walmart.
Mine I can bend out all the way like out to here.
No, the Ducos, that's the ones I was talking about. These ones.
Yeah. The thing that's the good about the Maui gyms is the color correction there. You won't find any better color correction
These are
glass
really
that
nice.
will show you as true to real life color as Maui gym glass.
Yeah.
Those were
No.
the Foster Grants from Walmart.
Like I said, I know Lori approves them for all our vlogs. That's what she wears.
Oh, they're
Ovation
phenomenal.
approved. Yeah.
No, check if you want a good, not too expensive pair, anybody wants to look at them. Like I said, look at this brand Duco. It's DUCO, but they're very
I'm-
well built.
I'm
for
a
30
Ray-Ban
bucks.
guy. I bet the
And
ones
they're nice. very
I miss
comfortable.
wearing my Bosch and Lam Ray-Bans. They were the proper ones. That's what I have. The proper.
And these got nice heavy duty lenses on them too.
Yeah, because just regular, because Mark's talking about skiing sunglasses. I had nothing but Maui gym regular sunglasses all the time,
Mhm.
and
That's Omniwear.
I'll tell you what, when I wanted to take the lenses, I took my old prescription lenses when I was a kid and I wasn't wearing contacts, popped them out of the Ray-Bans, and I had the original glass tucked away and saved.
These are
To
Bluetooth.
switch them out was just you dunk them in really hot water. It's all you do is you put the glasses in hot water, it makes them soft enough. You can pop the lenses out and switch the lenses. That's what I did. It
Mhm.
worked
Going to
really well.
work, Paul. Smart ass.
I was hoping I didn't break them. I was like, oh my God, I hope they
Yeah.
don't break because they're old and plastic and brittle. But they,
yeah, because when I got the prescription lenses, because I got progressive lenses, they put the regular lenses in a bag and shipped them with them.
yeah, I kept my original green glass. I had my original Bosch and Lomb green glass, and I had the smarts even back in the 80s, like keep those lenses just in case, because you never know. There they were. Everything was together as it should be. For once, I did something right as a kid. Go figure.
Well, gang, I gotta back out of here. I gotta get on a phone call here.
Okay, Steve.
Thank you for having me in, Paul.
Hey,
Good to
thanks
see
for
ya.
being here.
We'll see you later.
Nice to see you, Tim, Chuck, Justin, everybody in chat. Have a great evening.
Have a good one.
These ones here, this is the brand I'm talking about. They actually make really good ones for the price.
Hey, Joe.
Is that what
Joe
Bertha
in the
wears?
chat there?
I'm saying if you want a nice pair, like to go on vacation, you don't want to spend a shit ton of money, but a good, decent, heavy duty pair. These
Which
are the
ones
ones I got.
are,
here.
Oh, come on now. If you're gonna
they're all
lose
low.
sunglasses, you have to lose really expensive ones. You gotta go big or go home.
Those are
dude,
There
cheap.
you
Sarah.
go.
Well, they're not cheap, but they're good. Like you can get a pair of sunglasses obviously at Walmart for like $5-10.
I like
Yeah,
the
I've seen
heavy
like
duty fishing
I had a
ones,
coworker who
heavy
had
duty
the
fishing.
knockoffs of the Ray-Bans, and they weighed the Wayfarers. They weighed nothing. They're super light.
And the sunglasses got to be tight on my face.
Like I said, this particular model here, or here is the one I have.
Go down,
I
go
had
down to
two-
the mirrored ones,
I don't
right?
like
That's on
On the right hand side, down a little bit further. Right there.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like them. I don't like them.
Aviator
No.
sunglasses.
$24.
Oh, the
But
good
I
old
have-
aviators. Oh man, that's like I had aviators back when I was a kid.
But I have this particular model here. I had a black pair and a silver pair. And I mean, like I said, the lenses are heavy duty, the frames are heavy duty. They feel very well built for what you're paying for them.
I
I
am
like the hood
very
fishing sunglasses.
for years and
I
years.
like
I had Oakley M frames. I had M frames for a really, really long time, and I finally switched back to the Wayfarers. And
He's
now
going to
I've
work,
gotten in
Wedge.
touch with my inner Casey Neistat. That's what I've done. Now I just need a subscribership. Be good.
Here's my old hard hat. Got Dre's sticker on there.
Nice.
Oh, Jesus. I should put that on my fucking hard hat and see what the contractor said. What the fuck is it?
Don't even know what it
I
is.
had an extra Dre stickers and it was in my work truck and I just threw it on there. It's been on there ever since. Yeah.
I had so many helmets or hard hats over the years. Fucking unreal.
Oh, dude, you can get hard hats. That thing was $5 at Lowe's, like $5 or $6.
They're expensive over here because they're
Cheap.
I have a
they're
few
light.
hard hats from my checkered past having to do building inspections and stuff.
I gotta get another one actually. Cause the other
Yeah.
one's out of date.
Yeah, that one's made by 3M. I think I paid, might have been more than that. Might have been around $8 or $10.
So
It
Well,
wasn't
I still-
expensive at all.
I still got the supervisor's hard hat. So I gotta get rid of it. I'm not a super anymore.
Cause they wanted me to send them the receipt to reimburse me for it. And at the time I felt like it was so freaking cheap. I was like, I don't want to waste my time sending a receipt to them for. Cause it was,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it was like $8 or maybe $8 or $10 at the most. It was actually pretty cheap. And
Yeah,
I was like, I'd rather just have it and keep it if I ever need it for something. I'll have a hard hat.
Mhm.
I like to buy my own. When I was working there, if it was equipment we needed, and they just didn't get it to me. And it wasn't expensive, I just bought my own.
when
I
I
can keep
when
it.
I dropped down as supervisor or stood down, I gave him back my shirts that said supervisor, my business cards, laptop, phone. But I forgot to give
Wow.
him the damn hard hat.
Is everybody freezing or is it me?
I think it's you.
it's pretty
I thought
warm
it
in
was my
here.
internet.
All three of you are freezing for me. You guys are jumping all
Yeah.
over the place.
Are we? We're
It's that
jumping
good
around.
Computer that you have. It's that
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Up your PC, man.
Zip it, Chromebook.
That's that Ryzen 5.
I'm not a Chromebook boy.
I'll sell you my Ryzen 7.
I'm an i9. I'm an i9
Justin.
guy.
Justin, I'll sell you my Ryzen 7.
Nothing wrong with my Ryzen 5.
Justin, you want a Ryzen 7? I'll sell you.
No,
It costs too much to get it back over here.
I like my
$50.
Ryzen
I
5.
can put it in a Ziploc bag.
Oh, okay.
I'm a 5600X.
With the water
Nothing wrong
coolant.
with that.
With the water coolant, I'll give it to you. Ryzen 7. You got a 2060 Super, so you don't need that. What else, dude? Nah, I'm keeping the M.U. You want the RAM?
Actually,
They're
I
18 gigs. They're 18.
18.
What are you talking about?
You mean
16.
16? I was about to say,
Yeah,
what the hell are
16.
you talking about?
16.
about?
2 16s.
Oh,
Razors.
what's under the hood of this thing? Let's see.
You can have it, or I'll fucking send it to you when I leave. But I'm keeping the M.2 because that has all my shit on it.
There's 128 gigabytes hiding in this thing. I forget what it is though.
Let's see.
Pair of sunglasses on eBay going for $120. I've had mine for 35 years. I've had them for 8. Still the same prescription. Maybe I should get them checked again.
As well as my Ray-Bans.
Oh, there he is, Tyson.
What's up, Tyson?
Yeah,
Hello.
puppy back.
Oh, your daughter's going to work.
She's still with our playing on the other chair.
I gotta get over
Tell
to
them-
editing here. I got
Tell
editing.
them
to
men what to do.
I gotta do some editing.
I was looking at this really closely with the microscope to see if there's any blood on it.
So I say you better take that handle apart and wash all that DNA out from under it.
Yeah, right.
We were talking about that on Dan's show last night. I was like, man, Tim's gonna get hauled out of there because of some serial killer. I didn't do it, I swear.
Now you're being
What, Dan
flipped on
had a
by a
shed?
dog.
Dan had a shed?
Oh, you're gone.
Yeah, he was live for a little bit last night.
Really? Fucking
Mhm. It was me, Sean, Mike, and Kiwi, and Dan over there.
Nobody sent me a fucking.
Oh,
thing.
and we almost, I figured you'd have got a notification. I thought you were at work, so I didn't, so I didn't message you.
I was home by 2:30. What time did y'all go?
Oh, we were off way before then. We got off at
Right.
like 11:30, so you would have been just getting home or right after
Oh,
you got
yeah.
home.
I was still in the middle.
I just assumed you were at work, so I didn't.
It was
I
a
didn't
busy
message you.
7.5 hours yesterday. Fucking did.
But no, and then Kiwi was hauling ass down the road, dude. So he took
Really?
us on a little trip in his little smart car. Dude, he was
Oh.
punching it down this road, and there was a bunch of cones in the road. He didn't see him till the last second, swerved and almost hit him. And we were all laughing. I was like, and Mike was like, oh my God, he almost hit those cones. I said, yeah, Tim ain't out there doing his damn job, putting the signs up.
You do not want to hit those cones. I remember.
Oh, I gotta rewatch this. I gotta watch it.
God, I remember my neighbor, kid who went to OC, well, he went to college with me. He intentionally steered for one of those orange cones in his Ford Granada. That was thick sheet metal, and he hit it, and the weight, they have the big weights in the bottom, it completely crushed in his fender.
Y'all went on for 3 hours. I didn't even
I
know.
didn't make it on there till about an
Yeah, they
hour
did a
after.
marathon.
Oh, wait a minute. He don't have it up. It's not up on his channel. He deleted it or something.
Oh, I wonder if it got taken down. We showed a bunch of content we shouldn't have showed last night.
There you go outside.
Yeah, it must
Damn
have
it.
got taken down.
I missed it.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
we'll have that.
I never get a. I
Wow,
never get
that's
sent
'Cause
a thing in Messenger. He usually sends it to me in Messenger.
Because we actually showed the clip from Murray's show when the guy hung his thing in front of the camera.
Jesus Christ.
Did you ever see that, Chuck?
see what?
The clip of the guy that came on camera and he turned around and his stuff was hanging.
No.
That was funny. My
I'll
boy
send you
had
that.
elephantitis.
I'll send you the clip in Messenger. It's pretty funny.
All right, that's cool.
My boy had elephantitis, I swear to God.
I gotta get back to editing, man. Let's see. I got this thing mostly done, mostly colored, most of the audio's right, but it's probably at 90%. I got some more work to do.
Got my lunch made and everything. I'm fucking ready to go out the door, but I got an hour and a half.
These vlogs take time.
You should message Dan. Did it get taken down?
I think it might have because I don't see it up.
Sean was on a live.
Do what?
What?
Sean, he was on a live.
Yeah, he was on there. He
Wow.
popped in.
Holy shit.
Which Sean?
Edge. Edge FPV.
Edge FPV.
I'll be pretty close to him, won't I? No, that's like 5 states away. Never mind. Tennessee to Idaho. It's like a 10-hour drive, isn't it?
I don't know. Lloyd was saying when you get to Tennessee, you're only like an hour flight from us.
New York, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I might take a trip to Pennsylvania. See my
Pennsylvania.
family.
I'm gonna go to Pennsylvania.
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 I ain't going to where I was born. That's a shit place. Went downhill.
I've never escaped from where I was born. Still here, but that's why I travel so much.
Mhm.
Ooh, this guy
Well,
got chopped up pretty good. He's got a picture of his finger in a bandage. You see that little from "Don't ever touch your drone in flight." Wow. I got nipped by Mini 3 Pro in Iceland, but it didn't cut me. I don't know how that worked out, but it didn't cut me.
That thing couldn't cut a branch.
Is that what it is?
That thing, Mini 3, I wouldn't even be able to cut a
That
fucking leaf.
reminds
There
me,
you go.
how did you make out with your replacement arm?
It didn't. Got the arm on, but now the camera's all fucked. So it's got to go.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. Never should
So
have touched it. Yeah,
Oh.
I called Drone Nerds up and they're like, "Yeah, you probably damaged the main board." I'm like, "Oh, that sounds like inexpensive." I'm saying it sarcastically. Yeah, it's kind of like, he says, next to the camera, that's the most expensive component. Like, yep, that's just about right for me. So
I like that, Mark.
So what
want
you
that.
should have done was taken it to Drone Nerd in the first place.
I was
Mhm.
gonna, and then I got this crazy notion where I could just fix it, and then yeah, whatever.
Well, as
There you
long
go.
as you learned a lesson.
I never
you go.
learned, but
What's up, Jody?
What's up,
never
Jody?
learned. But yeah, I'll send it down to them and see what it costs.
There you go, Chuck. Chuck, peep that video real quick.
Oh, Lord.
It's only like 30 seconds long.
All right, hold on.
Make sure you got something to wash out.
Oh
your eyes.
my God, that's just wrong.
Yeah,
Are
something to
are you
shut your eyes.
serious?
Yeah,
Jesus,
swing.
dude, that's just, I can't unsee that shit.
Tell 'em you're gonna need
Huh?
something to wash out your damn eyes. I tell you that much.
This is
Ugh.
wrong. That is just fucking wrong. Pardon me.
He had a case of elephantitis. Swear to God.
He had some shit going on, yeah. Gravity's
Mike's-
taking effect.
Yeah, exactly. Mike said he was decking in his ass. Dan actually showed that on his show last night. He
Oh,
wanted to see it. And I was like, well, I'll send it to you. He's like, oh no, just show it. I was like, okay.
Fuck.
Is the
I-
Mini 3 Pro much better than a 4 or 5-year-old Mavic Pro? I would say camera wise, yeah, but
Who asked that?
oh, it was a comment in the DJI Mini 3 Pro
Oh,
Facebook group.
I thought you were actually reading that chat.
I'm just reading something from there.
Well, the conversation earlier, Chuck, you weren't here for, was don't get into the habit of just buying the next best whatever.
No, there's no reason to. That
No.
everything's leveled off. Like unless you have a
Unless
Mavic,
you have a
like,
use. Yep.
yeah, like I have Mini 3 Pro, and the sensors are not as good as Mini 4 Pro, but they allow me to use the Spotlight and a few of the other features. So there's really no point in getting the OA that's upgraded because I don't give a shit about it.
Yeah.
The camera's the same. OcuSync 4 is really impressive, but who cares? But there are some people that need that. Some people fly and they
Yep.
need that signal strength because they're flying through stuff where you can't get the penetration of the signal. But yeah, there's no. I know you know, laugh you said, but no, really. I mean, you buy drones as you need them. Don't just get the newest one because it's out there. That's just
You said
kind of
penetration.
yeah, I know I did. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, because it's like as you get smarter or get more experience, it's not keep up with the Joneses. It's
It used to
whatever
be.
you need.
Oh, Paul, it used to be a new drone came out every year or two, but now every 6 months. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I hopped off that wagon. That's insane. And I wasn't really.
All about use case scenario.
Yeah, I mean, like the Mavic 3 Classic that I fly primarily. The Mavic 3 Pro is wounded, but anyway, but the commonality of those two drones is the 4/3 inch sensor, and that thing is badass. So I mean, really, I mean, they could release a Mavic 4, and unless there's something that I really, really need to make me film better, why? Just why?
Nothing's gonna make me feel better.
Practice well. Keep practicing.
Practice.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Flew a
practice,
lot of
dude.
drones.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, because there's
Feel like,
nothing worse, and Chuck has learned this, I'm sure, is when you get up there and say, well, now how do I do that again? Or what settings should I use? Or
Yeah. My biggest problem is when I'm flying, I'm in a beautiful place to fly, and I pop the drone up. I get tunnel vision sometimes, so I don't take in the whole everywhere I am, because I'll get focused on one thing, one point of interest, and I'll focus on it. And I have to remind myself that, hey, there's more here than just that. Get the other stuff too. And then that I figured out recently. The other problem I had before was fly forward, right? And whenever you think you should stop flying forward or backwards, go further. Like go another 2 or 3 seconds beyond where you feel comfortable. Always.
hey, Chuck, Steve Carpenter put a comment in there for you.
What did you write?
I'm waiting for the Phantom X. That was a Phantom X.
Yeah.
I'm 5.
The Phantom 10. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a Phantom anything. That shit's done. It had a good run. The Phantom series is what made DJI what it is. It's on every no drone zone sign in the world. Basically, that's the quintessential drone. That's on all those signs. But yeah,
Russell.
Fucking Russell. Fucking nuts.
Always
we have a
coming up with
mechanical
crazy-
shutter for the guys that really want a mechanical shutter. It exists now, so that's going to start showing up in like the Mavic. Probably the Mavic 4 will probably have a mechanical shutter, Paul. That's my guess.
Fuck it out.
Possibly optical zoom. I'm just guessing.
You never know.
Or they'll have a Mavic 3S that'll have like some kind of cool lens on it, and then they'll have the mechanical shutter on that. Then they'll come out like 6 months later. They'll come out with the Mavic 4, and it'll have like optical zoom along with like a 4/3 sensor with optical zoom. Now that would be badass.
I'm
That
still waiting for the
that would
Mavic
get my
3.
money.
I'm still waiting for the Mavic 3 Antique.
Antique.
Yeah, they got the classic.
Yeah,
The
it's gonna
classic.
be the-
That was the
Antique.
cutesy way of calling it, the antique.
Yeah.
Classic's a great drone. It's a stupid name, but it should have been just
Stupid
that should have
name.
been it should have been the Mavic 3. The Mavic 3 should have been the Mavic 3 Classic, and then the
Yeah.
Mavic 3 Pro should have been the Mavic 3, and then the Mavic 3 Pro should have been the Advanced. But that's
It's a
okay. I
stupid
mean,
name.
yeah, they did what they
Stupid name
did.
for a drone.
This was a mistake. DJI didn't realize that they got sticker shock and nobody's gonna care. So they didn't buy the Mavic 3 when it came out, and they sat around for a really long time. So like, shit, now what do we do? What do we do? And they came up with the Classic, which is what should have been out to begin with. But hey, they're doing a great job at taking people's money though. Cause I mean, how many people are like, they're selling their Mini 3 Pro right now. I gotta get the Mavic. I gotta get the Mini 3 Pro. Get the Mini 4, Mini 3 4, Mini 3 more.
Oh yeah,
Why?
and then then
Why?
they'll forget about the Mini 3 like it's a piece of crap.
And it's a very relevant drone. I mean, I flew the
And
crap
then-
out of that thing in Iceland, and it did a great job. That
A-
drone is great.
And then 2 days after they get it, somebody will come in the chat. What do you think a good starter drone is? You gotta get the Mini 4. It's the best fucking
Yeah.
drone ever.
Well, if you don't have
Exactly what you're
one,
gonna hear.
if you don't have a drone, yeah, get the Mini 4 Pro, sure.
I think the
But I
Mini
mean,
2 is
Oh,
good.
I always
Mini 2 is
ask.
so good.
Yeah,
We
but
can
I
grow
always ask
into it.
people, what is your budget? Then you give them a suggestion.
oh no, I just aim high. It's a hobby.
I
Go
have
high.
Bugs 4.
Bigger go home.
Bugs 4.
Yeah.
Bugs 4.
But
I
somebody
just
not only
well, Justin, that's how I feel, man. It's like a hobby. So to me, it's like
Well, I'm saying some people might want a hobby, but they may only can afford $400 or $500.
Well, and besides that,
So
if
the
you've
Mini
never
3
had
Pro
a-
is a great
you've
drone.
never
I
had a
mean,
drone before, buy what you can afford and then decide if you really,
Well,
because people go out and buy drones and because on here all
you
the
guys
time.
said
guys,
Mini 2.
yeah, I've only flown
And you're-
mine twice.
You guys said
When
Mini
you're
2
first
is
starting out
a
with
good
drone
drone, and it
flying,
is. Mini 2 is a
the
great
first
drone.
thing-
well,
First thing you should do when you start out in drone, buy a drone that you can afford to crash. That's it.
I
And
guess
then
I
learn on that drone and then,
I
yeah.
guess I didn't follow that directive. I bought a Mavic Pro as my first, but I
Mavic 2 Zoom, my first.
Well,
no,
but dude, you went in big. It's cool because it's a great. The other way to think about it is, okay, I'm going to try to fly responsibly, try not to be stupid, and get a drone you can grow into, so your skill can grow into the capability of the drone. I mean, that's the way I look at stuff is like, I want to buy something that I can grow into.
but I always ask somebody when they come into somebody's chat and they say, "What drone should I buy?"
You're right about
immediately
asking the
ask them,
budget. You're
I'll
right.
be like, "What's your budget?" And then when they tell me, "Oh, I have $800 to spend," then
Oh.
you give them a good. Then you give
Mini.
them all their choices
Yeah.
from that $800 down, and you say, "This is what your choices are."
And $800 in about a month's time will be a Mini 3 Pro, which is a great frickin' starter drone, and then some. I mean, it's a drone you can grow into and do some great stuff with.
Hey guys, I
But-
gotta get out. Gotta get
All right,
to
we'll
work.
see you later.
Yeah, it is getting kind of late.
Later.
It's already like
I
7:20.
was going to show you guys my first drone right there.
A
Not
helicopter?
a drone, that's a helicopter.
That was a drone.
No,
Oh.
helicopter.
It has chainsaw motor, 3.5-foot tail rotor, and a 6-foot top rotor.
Jesus, kill somebody with that thing. It's awesome.
Well, what I
Why is it
didn't
so
like about
blurry?
it is, you got gas all over you all the time.
Must have sounded kick ass though when it was running.
Oh yeah, it was.
I bet that was badass.
And what did you just use? RC plane components to control it?
Yeah. No. It had you used Futaba.
You had a 7-channel remote for that thing, didn't you? Like
Yep.
7 channels. Those things were brutally hard to fly. There was all like acro.
Oh yeah, I've had a friend of mine that had one just like that, and he took off in his backyard, and the wind came
crashed
up,
immediately.
and it shot right past him and out and banged in the garage.
At least it didn't cut them up. I mean,
Yeah.
that thing dangerous.
He ducked and it went shoo.
Jesus. I mean, yeah, I mean, that shit was dangerous. But like, that's what I was saying. I mean, like the original helicopters, I remember being an RC car guy and like I saw the helicopter and I was talking to my buddy about it. I was like, wow, those are cool. He's like, yeah, Chuck, you have to know what the hell you're doing. Those things, they have like, 6 degrees of freedom. You need a 7-channel controller
Yep.
to run them. And I said, now think about how hard it is to fly a helicopter when you're in it. Now try flying it from the
On
ground.
the ground. Yep.
I mean, that takes some
because
serious skill.
as you know,
And
Chuck, our depth perception isn't automatic when we're first flying.
it's not automatic for me ever. Like I said, whenever I'm filming, I have to push myself. Like I'll film and I'm like, okay, that's good. I'll go another 3 to 5 seconds now, fly further because I know I'm not going far enough. I'm keeping you up. Am I keeping you up?
Let's see here.
Anyway,
It's like those guys that do this shit right here. I think this is it.
what's going on in the chat? Oh, I see all this stuff happening. There's drone shots. Jody, what's up, man?
Oh yeah, Justin, you've seen those guys. What the
Here,
ones that are flipping
watch.
around, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, those are badass. Yeah, I love them.
Look at that, man. That's some skill right there.
That's
bro.
some mad ass skill right there.
Yes, it is.
Indeed.
And it looks like the footage is sped up. No, it's moving that fast.
Yep.
Crazy, right? Badass. This is freaking awesome.
I bet that's harder to fly than FPV 100%.
Oh, yep.
Oh, hell yeah. That's
I mean,
and
you
no
almost
no disrespect to FPV guys because they're great. The guys that fly acro are awesome. But that's I think this is harder.
I mean, just, yeah, look at that.
Just whacked.
That's insane.
Uh-huh.
He's pretty much trimming the grass on some of those moves.
It kind of is.
Look at that. That's nuts. Wonder what the flight time on one of those is.
I don't know, but imagine the stress on the hull of that thing.
Although that sounds gas powered, though. It's definitely not electric.
Gas is badass. It does sound great, by the way.
Look at that. Trimming the
Very
grass. Trimming the grass.
impressive.
And that's some skill there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is. He's literally trimming a line through the grass. You see that?
Yep.
Yeah, I give it to that guy. That's a good pilot right there, man.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Bravo.
That's some crazy shit right there.
Unbelievable.
Good stuff.
I mean, you think about how many you go through before you actually
Oh,
We get that
yeah.
good?
I mean,
that good. Oh my God, that's got to be an expensive ass hobby right there, dude.
he probably has 6 of them in the garage, you know, or in his office.
Mark says you can get 20 minutes, over 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20
of
to
fuel.
25 minutes, I think.
But then he said you could go for a bigger tank too. So if you have a bigger tank,
Yeah.
of course you can get more runtime. That's pretty cool. But I would have crashed it. I don't need a very big tank. I'd create a fireball that thing in no time.
That was actually the same video I just played, Jody.
Oh, is it the same one?
Yeah, I just clicked on it and it was started right where we.
Nice.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's just. I imagine those guys probably went through a lot of helicopters before they even got close to being that good.
It takes a while to get that kind of level of skill. That guy is very good.
Well, I'm saying,
Well, maybe
like,
he's a
you have-
prodigy. Maybe he's just a prodigy and he was just like a natural and just did it. But
Jody wants you to share your link in the chat too, Justin.
oh yeah. Let's see if it's the same. He doesn't trust you.
I think this is the same video because either that or it might have been the one I showed before because it was already in the middle playing.
This is a different one because it shows his stick.
Shows a
was the
controller.
one Yeah, this was the one I showed last time because it was already halfway through the playing on it. Because we shared this one time before on Paul's.
No stops, nice transitions, fast transitions.
Well, the key is to learn how to fly it like a normal, regular helicopter. Get that movement down, then you start doing that. Kind of crap.
And slowly adding different movements. Yeah.
Right.
I'm
gotta
just
get the
gonna
basics
stick with
right.
boring old camera.
I can see Chuck doing that up in Iceland.
I want to see what a GoPro footage would look like on that.
Nah. I actually, Paul, I'm like you. I like my camera drones. I like my
Yeah.
GPS drones. They're just for what I want to capture. They do the job.
Well, you know, if you had a camera on that with a live feed, you talk about instant vertigo. Oh.
People be throwing up watching that stuff. Be crazy.
God, that one's spitting some smoke out, ain't it?
Mad skills. We can see what yaw is right there. His left stick, he whipped it all the way left is yaw.
I like how he's got the smoke trail though.
Well, he's definitely not a thumber. He's a pincher.
He's a pincher for sure.
I would imagine with all those moves, you'd have to be a pincher. Although the right stick looks like he's a combination, both of them combination pinch and thumb.
I don't know. He's doing all right. Pretty good skill. Yeah, Steve, thousands and thousands of dollars for sure.
Yeah, one of those probably probably easily $1,000, $1,500 for one of those.
Oh, definitely.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, not that our hobby's cheap, but that's taking it to another tier up, or 2 or 4.
Yeah, but it's just like FPV, right? FPV, technically, if you look at hardcore FPV guys, they're going to spend more on that hobby than you would on camera drones because you're less likely to crash yours.
Well,
And when you do,
I don't know. I mean, FPV stuff is pretty durable. Normally, you can rebuild it. So like,
well, like I said, it depends on what you're doing. Like some
yeah,
of these guys are insane on those FPV drones. You know,
Yeah.
doing 130, whipping through little holes and shit and tunnels and stuff. I mean, yeah, that is pretty durable, but you know, you also got to remember some of these FPV guys will have 15, 20 drones that they're always working on, replacing stuff, fixing. I mean, it's almost like a constant uphill battle with those things. You're always having to tune them and
definitely.
everything else.
and I'm kind of addicted to my GPS stuff.
But like I said, GPS drones, you know, if you break yours, you know, most of the
Which
guys
I
will have
did.
some kind of insurance on it and they'll be able to send it off to get fixed,
Mm,
which
well.
isn't nearly as much as buying a brand new one, you know.
Yep. Well, we'll send the Mavic 3 in soon enough.
Jody says the Futaba radio they was showing was $3,000.
Jesus.
Good digital.
I know that my Futaba I had on that one I showed you, I think it was $800 or $900, and that was an oldie.
It's probably analog, wasn't it, Paul?
Yeah. Yeah, there was no digital anything on that.
Yeah, that's a new. I mean, that's relatively new to be digital.
Yeah. Okay, guys, you had enough?
Yeah. I'm
Well,
gonna
I
jump
kind of
in.
want to do some editing. I need to get
Okay.
good old the old Covaction YouTube channel needs some love, man. There's nothing new out there. Got to get something new.
All right. I'll catch y'all later then.
Okay. All right, Justin, are you going to go live later?
No, not tonight.
8 o'clock?
No.
Oh,
Taking the night off.
what time you going on, Justin?
I'm not going on. It's Monday
Oh.
night. I don't want to go on a Monday night.
Okay, buddy.
All right. I'll see y'all later.
Everybody in chat,
Later.
thanks for being here. We'll see all of you again next time. Chuck,
everybody.
thanks for coming in, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Catch you guys
Yeah.
later. Bye,
Okay.
everybody.